Welcome to Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11.
Welcome into Home Track Heroes here on CW11. My name is Kyler Hope. Alongside me, Caleb Hart, and boy, do we have a packed show for you guys tonight.
Yeah, it was HCI and Nelson Motorsports weekend at Evergreen Speedway, and man, I'll tell you what, if you like variety, if you like a lot of stuff, if you like getting weird in the back half of the show, the last three features we're going to show you tonight, we're going to get weird. We're going to get fun, too. We're going to showcase a bunch of different courses that we have at Evergreen Speedway, a bunch of different classes that we've got at Evergreen Speedway, and then we're going to get a little funky at the very back end of the show. So you got to stick with us because buses, boats, and a truck demo derby.
Oh, yeah. Exactly. Not to mention we got plenty of action on the 3/8 mile. Our legends there in action, and they put on a great show on the first day, and we get the second day of action ahead of us today to watch. So they already put one feature on the weekend. We get the second one ahead of us. The Hornets, they're running their normal road course for once, so we're not mixing up on them. So they're back to the normal course. We got some Stinger 8 action. I'm trying to remember what else. We got mini bump to pass. We got big bump to pass. We got everything on this show for you. The mini stocks even hit the 3/8 mile.
And let's throw a curveball at you. The weather's not that great.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a little slippery out there, so let's get to it. Let's get weird.
And you see the Hornets, the first feature rolling out right now. Interstate Battery Hornets, they'll have 30 laps on the normal road course. The Youth Hornets, they're also here tonight as well on the 1/5 mile. And I think that's all the classes. There might be more. You're going to want to stick around and watch the entire show. But let's get to know the starting lineup for the Interstate Battery Hornet A feature rolling out right now. That's the 88 of Garrett Kramer on the pole, sponsored by Northwest Security and Sound. And his outside, the 03 of Lucas Hassenflux, sponsored by Cornerstone Homes.
Second row, Kenny Spear, car 38, Quality Auto Transport, his sponsor, 85 of Eric Armstrong next to him.
Next row, the 69 of Zach Meyer, sponsored by KNS Edwards. And to his outside, the 78 Michael Duncan, sponsored by GDX Garage Door Service.
Row number 4 is Austin Kramer, the Everett Steel, number 14, and Matt Snyder, the Hair Inc., number 15.
Row number 5, we got the 33 of Ryan Hassenflux, sponsored by Cornerstone Homes as well. And the 163 of Annika Duncan, sponsored by Olympic Embroidery.
Row number 6, car 221 is Lyndon Smith, PRCBD.com, his sponsor. Next to him, it's the orange number 30 of Pat Folger.
Starting 13th on the field, that is the 77 of Christian Miller, sponsored by Turbo Expressor. And his outside, that's the Toyer Tax 81 of Bobby Fisher.
Go a row behind them, McKenna Cox in the 24 Hornet. Cox Wheels Racing, the sponsor on it. Next to her, Calvin Miller, car number 49.
And then we got the guy who's been pretty much unbeatable all year long. That's the 68 of Blaine Manning, sponsored by Exterior Wall Systems. And his outside, the 00 Fast Time Dan Miller, sponsored by Exterior Wall Systems, Inc.
You just got more talent sitting, though, in there behind them, because Damon Claiborne comes up in the next row, car number 43, Reardon's Dodge Chrysler Jeep and Ram of Monroe, and Tegan Bjornson, the Whiteside Steel, number 59.
Then we got the 7 of Dylan Frazier, sponsored by Valley Realty Group, and the 101 of Brian McNamara, sponsored by True Line Wheel and Frame, rounding out the field. And I believe Damon Claiborne's going to be in one of Zach Bristol's borrowed Hornets, so he's not in his familiar car this weekend, so it's going to be interesting watching him come from the back in a different car than what we're normally seeing him in. So we know that car has speed. And then also the 7 of Dylan Frazier, he's in Sage Frazier's Youth Hornet car because he's been having issues with his number 7 machine, so he's also in a borrowed car coming from the back as well. So we're going to have to keep an eye on those two as we get set to go green flag 30 laps for the Interstate Battery Hornet main event.
And there's 22 of them out there by my count, so huge field of Hornets coming after this green flag and coming after the checkered flag in just 30 times around the road course. Feels like it's the first time we've seen the road course in a little while.
Yeah, I think since opening night, actually. So here we go. Green flag is out, and you can tell it's very wet out and very slippery. Yeah. There goes Lucas Hasselflug getting really sideways in front of the field, and Kramer doing a great job avoiding that, and that could have been disastrous for your front row. And wow, I mean that's about as exciting as they can get, really. Like right there. I mean, let's end the show perfect as we got a great battle for the lead. 88 of Garrett Kramer trying to hold off Kenny Spear in the 38, and we see Zach Meyer the 69 looking at the outside, and you can see how gingerly they're taking it now. They saw what happened to Hassenflug in the 03 on lap number 1, and everyone else is trying not to make the same mistake as they come through to complete lap number 1. That's Garrett Kramer, your race leader.
I think Meyer's the guy racing with no fear right now. He carried a lot of speed. Look at him. Oh, yeah, windshield wipers blaring. He's closing on Kramer here for the top spot. Hassenflug starting to find his rhythm behind him in the 33 as those top three try to break away. Let's watch Meyer as he gets down the back straightaway. Look at him. No fear going to the high side.
Yeah, and we see that a lot with the other classes that run the 3/8. When it's wet out, they go up high and try to find a little bit drier racing surface to be on, and I think that's what Zach Meyer did right there, and he's able to take over the race lead, bringing along Lucas Ryan Hasenflug, not Lucas Hasenflug, who we saw go sideways in front of the field earlier. That's the older brother, I believe, Lucas, making his way through the field in the 33, and he's putting some pressure right on the back bumper of Zach Meyer as we've had 2 laps complete, 2 different race leaders.
I think you have that backwards. I think it's Lucas that went cattywampus, and that's actually Ryan that's coming through.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Okay, got it.
We'll figure it out eventually.
That's all right, yeah. Well, Meyer's stepping the back end out just a little bit as he comes to the intersection. Watch him and watch all the speed that he carries here, because that car is right on the edge of out of control. Oh, yeah. Swinging her in and around. I like it.
Controlled chaos for the Interstate Battery Hornets on the very, very wet road course as they go up onto the 3/8 bank around that sharp left-hander. It's just a mob of cars coming through. Here we see Lyndon Smith and Duncan leading this group as it's three wide for a second right there. We see that's the 49 Calvin Miller just going out of frame. We got the 24 McKenna Cox. There's the 03 of Lucas Hasenflug, who we saw at the start of the field. And it's just a minefield of cars trying to get through this very slippery surface.
And we haven't even talked about Blaine Manning yet, because he's, not past a bunch of people yet. It's early. There's Blaine just kind of creeping into the picture. The black red number, white bumper, number 68 is just going to say, you tires be darned. I'm going to just go wherever I want here.
Yeah, and he
actually didn't help him, though.
Exactly, yeah. I think he knew he was cutting the course right there, and he kind of penalized himself and dropped back, so he wasn't going to gain any positions to hopefully avoid getting a black flag. We'll see what the NASCAR officials say for that. I mean, he gave the spots back as, there goes the 15 and the 24. That's Snyder and McKenna Cox getting hooked together for a second. And we'll see if McKenna's able to get the car back rolling as we'll stay green for now. There's Blaine Manning, like we mentioned, trying to put that pressure on Calvin Miller moving forward. Up front, it's still a 2-car battle for the race lead. Zach Meyer and Ryan Hasenflug as they pulled away from Garrett Kramer in the 88.
Sure looks like Hasenflug is taking to the same strategy that Meyer is here, going up racetrack through that 3rd and 4th corner on the 3/8. Down and through the intersection, you can see weight transfer portion of the course, and that's where a lot of time is made or lost. And Hasenflug good through there, going to be right on the bumper of Meyer as they roll down the back straightaway to try to complete another lap. Your top 2, Meyer and Hasenflug, long ways back to Garrett Kramer sitting in the 3rd spot as we watch your battle for the lead.
Yeah, these two are able to get ahead of all that little bit slower traffic very early on in the race, and now you can see how big of a gap they've really opened up as everyone else is still stuck in the slower traffic, and it's like really showing how big of a lead right there on that shot. You can really see how far back it is to Garrett Kramer, and I think Austin Kramer in the 14 battling for 3rd. So these two continue to battle on for the race lead. Still 23 laps to go, and these two just really do not want to see a caution, because that would really erase the entire lead and bring a bunch of the faster guys into the picture, which they do not want. There goes Ryan Hasenflug looking really low this time through 3 and 4, trying to find some speed down there. Not quite enough. Coming by the line this time, it is still Zach Meyer, who took over the race lead on lap number 2, and he's led every lap since, but he's had a miracle Ryan Hasenflug the entire time.
Relatively surprised that given the huge field that we have, the wet conditions, and the road course, that we haven't seen a stoppage yet. That's pretty good. Guys are adapting quite nicely here. As here comes Hasenflug to the inside on Meyer, going to show him a wheel going into turn number 3.
Yeah, and you can tell just how slippery it is. Your race leader is going to make contact. That's going to send Meyer sideways, and they both are able to save it. What a great piece of driving there by both involved. And now Zach Meyer is going to slide through the intersection. And wow, I mean, it really shows how slippery that low line is and why the drivers prefer to go to the top side, as Ryan got really, really loose there on the bottom, made contact with Zach Meyer, and thankfully both drivers were able to save it. They both almost just ended their race, because we've seen people get loose in the middle of the corner like that, overcorrect, and go off into the tires. So a great job by both involved as they continue to have a huge lead over 3rd place Garrett Kramer. But like you mentioned, we've yet to see a yellow flag. We saw Snyder and McKenna Cox get hooked together for a second. McKenna was able to get refired, and so far everyone's doing a great job of keeping this thing green and showing us some great racing actions. We're a third of the way done.
I wonder if, and it would have played out a little bit more on that last lap, if Meyer wasn't going to step up the pace a little bit and get a little more aggressive. You don't want to open yourself up to the position where you can be taken out, whether it's unintentional, which it just looked like right there, or even intentionally get a love tap in the wrong spot. And you can kind of see it. He has opened it up just a little bit, trying to pick up the pace and get a little breathing room between himself and Hasenflug here, as we are 11 in, 19 to go. They are taking it a little bit easier, although Meyer through the intersection. back end of that race car was certainly swimming.
Yeah, right as you say, they're taking it easy. He goes way sideways through that S's, and he lost a lot of momentum. And I was going to say, normally through that S portion of the track is where Meyer's a little bit stronger and opens up the race lead. And then right here is where Ryan Hasselfluck is usually faster and has been able to close that gap coming off of turn 4 of the 3/8 and across the start-finish line. But really, it seems like it's kind of varying lap to lap. Just he was able to keep the most of their car under control as we see Zach Meyer go really sideways that time into the X, which isn't necessarily slower, but it can cause for some more mistakes to be made if you overcook it a little too much and spin yourself out.
You'd almost say that he looks like he's overdriving it through the intersection at this point in time. Although, car sideways, car around. That is a 15 of Matt Snyder who goes through the green grass, keeps it going, will stay green.
Yeah, that was definitely a scary moment. He's going to pop right out back in front of your race leaders now. So here comes Zach Meyer, and he definitely does not want to see a caution. And when he sees a car spinning like that, he gets probably a little bit nervous, but we'll see what Snyder's able to do. It's going to go, looks like side by side with Pat Folger right in front of your race leaders. And then we got Team Bjornsson and the 101 of Brian McNamara as well, all in front of your race leaders. So not only now does Zach Meyer have to worry about Ryan Hasselfluck behind him, he has a lot of lap traffic right in front of him with 17 laps to go still. So it's still anyone's race right here.
This is going to get fun, and it's going to get a little more strategic as your race leader Meyer's going to have to be a little bit pickier about where he goes through this course and who he takes on as far as lines go. Around Folger, hugs the bottom coming into the Uke tire. He's bringing the 33 of Hasselfluck with him, and to the inside, a much sharper turn that time from Meyer down the back straightaway. See if Hasselfluck tries to take advantage and make a move to the inside. He's got a good run going into the third corner.
Yeah, it was interesting what Zach Meyer did that time. It looked like he almost backed off a little bit so then he could fall in behind Matt Snyder and have the high line through 3 and 4, which allowed Ryan Hasselfluck to get to his inside, and they remained side by side that time with the line. It's still Zach Meyer, your race leader, as it's 2 by 2 with some lap cars right in front of him. Team Bjornsson, Matt Snyder, and the 101 of McNamara as well. As now Ryan's going to fall in behind as they both try to go that higher line down the back straightaway. It's still 2 wide right in front of your race leader, though. You're just trying to be patient, figure out which way is the right way to go, and hope that the cars in front are able to keep the wheels pointing in the right direction.
Well, so far, Meyer is making the right choice amongst the slower cars. Hasselfluck trying to match him move for move, and he's done a good job of it so far. Coming up on Bjornsson into the intersection. Hasselfluck going to change lanes. Going to try to dip underneath and force Meyer way up racetrack, and there's a lane underneath Bjornsson coming through turn number 2. We've got a lead change.
They're going to split lap traffic going down the back straightaway, and a huge run for Zach Meyer. So the little bit of a lead that Ryan had is now gone, and it's back to Zach Meyer. He's going to get loose, overcook it a little bit into turn number 3. Going to lose some momentum, a little bit more contact between your race leaders. This time by at the line, it is still Zach Meyer leading the way. Wow. Ryan Hasselfluck putting a ton of pressure on, and Austin Kramer in the 14. He's not too far behind these two now. So third place, trying to work his way into the picture, but he has quite a few lap cars he's going to have to get around now.
Oh, and there was a mistake from Hasselfluck coming through the corner. He pushed way wide off the turn. That allows Meyer to get away. It was interesting. I was about to say, it seems like those two are pretty evenly matched. It's just Meyer's got a couple of places where he is way stronger, where Hasselfluck is more consistent all, of course, the trek, and Meyer's been able to use those places to get his lead back and maybe add some padding. Now we'll see if Ryan can dial back in on him. We're over halfway done, just 12 to go. The battle between the gray 69 and the neon yellow numbered 33.
Yeah, they head down the back straightaway this time. And Matt Snyder, I mean, he's usually one of the faster cars when it's dry out, and he's right in front of your race leaders. We got a good battle here for third place on the podium. The 221 of Lyndon Smith and the 14 of Austin Kramer as they go in. I think that's Christian Miller in the 77 on the way outside line. We'll see what kind of run he gets. Yeah, he's in the 5th position. So great battle for third, which is not far behind your top two. So one mistake from Zach Meyer or Ryan Hasselfluck is going to bring these three into it. Not like that, though. Lyndon Smith getting sideways. He does a great job driving his way out of it, but that's going to allow Kramer to get to the inside. So Lyndon Smith had third place of the line, but now it's back to Austin Kramer as Christian Miller looking to the outside for a second. He's going to have to break as Lyndon Smith comes up the track. So great battle between everyone inside your top 5, and I think it's Calvin Miller in the 49. He's working his way into the picture. He started way in the back of the pack, so he's been done a great job working his way forward with no cautions. 20 laps through, 10 to go now.
Back look to the front of the field as we get a look. It's Meyer and Hasselfluck coming through turn number 2 and down the back chute. Going to be into the single digits in terms of laps to go this next time by as they look to get around Michael Duncan. Meyer sets, rolls middle. Hasselfluck kind of following him up there as they're going to cut back to the inside into the intersection. There goes Duncan diving right back down in front of them. So 9 to go this time, and House and Flux still looking for the right combination to get around Meyer, as now Kramer finally entering the picture.
Yeah, Duncan and Snyder both being really fast lap cars has allowed the third place of Kramer and the 221 Lyndon Smith, who sits fourth, to catch up as they're slowing down the back straightaway. The yellow lights are on, caution is out, and there you see 38 Kenny Spear was up against the front stretch wall. Looks like a little bit of white paint on those tires, as we'll take a look at a replay as he gets the car fired back up. There you see him. That's Garrett Kramer in the 88 getting a little bit loose in front of him. We'll see what happens, and it looks like just a little bit of understeer, tags Blaine Manning, tags the 03 House and Fluck, and then goes into the outside wall. So tough series of events there for Kenny Spears. It looks like he was locking up those tires, kind of pushing through the corner, and then they finally hooked up, and he went left into the inside of Blaine Manning and then into the outside House and Fluck. It was wrong place, wrong time.
Yeah, got bounced around like a pinball a little bit before colliding with the front straightaway fence. So tough break for Kenny Spears. To the back of the pack he goes if the car can restart. And this will tuck everybody up into a neat little 2x2 line coming on the restart.
Exactly. Yep. 3 laps remaining. We got House and Fluck, Calvin Miller, Zach Meyer, and it looks like the 43 of Claiborne. So we're skipping ahead a little bit, skipping a few laps as we are on a time restraint here. So we're in the final 3 laps now of this race. Calvin Miller shot out of a cannon around the 33 of Ryan Hausenfluck, and here comes Claiborne in the borrowed car, who started almost dead last, and he's got that bumper barely hanging on, coming for a ride.
Oh, Zach won't mind. He's gone through enough. He's gone through enough for bumper covers in his day. So now Calvin Miller, out of nowhere, your new race leader, 2 to go. House and Fluck follows, and a aggressive pack in behind. Damon Claiborne in the 3rd spot. Just 2 more times around the road course. Could be a good win here for Calvin Miller.
Exactly, yeah. And we've seen Calvin in, I think, 4 or 5 different series or classes over the course of Home Track Heroes, and he's I think he won the Hornet event or a Hornet B main. He was on the podium in a Hornet recently, I want to say. So, I mean, he definitely knows how to wheel these 4 cylinders around, especially on a wet racetrack, which we've seen a lot of in 2022. And he's showing that he's the best car out there today as he's coming by to see the white flag.
Good job, Calvin Miller. Looking to bring home 2nd trophy of the year, the 2nd winner's trophy, we should say. House and Fluck has 1 more shot at him. And Claiborne right there just in case of emergency. Nice and spread out down the back chute for the final time. As they roll into 3, Calvin just got to be patient and hit the right notes. And tune up the band. Those notes getting played. Your winner, Calvin Miller, down the front straightaway. Nice run, young man.
Ryan Hausenfluck, who sat 2nd majority of that race. That's where he'll finish. Great race for him, that 33 machine. Damon Claiborne comes home 3rd, and there will be no podium interviews for the shows because we have so many main events to get to, so do not go anywhere as we got more Youth Hornet action coming up next when we come back. Welcome back to an action-packed show here on CW11. My name is Kyler Hope. This is Caleb Hart, and we got 1 main event down, 8 more to go, and we're going to roll out some more 4 cylinders, except put them on the 1/5 mile, and let's have them be 12 to 14 years old.
That's right. Throw the youth out there. It is Youth Hornet time here on Home Track Heroes, a division that has been dominated, but not completely dominated by Riley Rudell. We'll see if he can keep that up coming into this week's show.
Exactly, and like we said, 12 to 14-year-olds, so kids watching at home, ask your parents, like, hey, I want to do that. Like, hey, yeah, soccer's fun, baseball's fun, but hey, I want to race cars, and let's put them in full-size cars on a real racetrack because not many kids get to do that, and here at Evergreen Speedway, it's a ton of fun and a great learning experience for these kids.
It's a great family experience, too, getting to work on race the cars and work with your kids and doing it. So parents, go buy a Youth Hornet. Go buy one today.
Exactly, yeah. So starting on the front row, we got the 12 of Sage Frazier, sponsored by Party Chief Safety Apparel, and her outside, and that's the 44 of Olivia Reppin, sponsored by Snoqualmie Casino.
That colorful 717 on the inside of row number 2 is the Hair Inc. sponsored car of Diesel Snyder, and outside him, 27 Dakota Grachala.
And coming up in row number 3, that's the 45 of Chevy Vincent back in his own car, and the 18 of Paisley Bender, sponsored by Wagley Creek Automotive.
Final row, the aforementioned Riley Rudell. It's the black, blue with white number 20, and next to him, Preston Brandt's 14 Skyline Decals, the sponsor on that. DL Enterprises, the sponsor on Rudell's 20 cars. We're underway.
20 laps for the A-Main and for the Youth Hornets as they go down into turn number 1. No fear for these kids on a very slippery track, and they make it through 1 and 2 cleanly. That's Sage Frazier going down into turn number 3 and 4, trying to keep the 44 of Olivia Reppin at bay, and looks like she will try to do so. It's going to be really close to the line. Give it to the 12 of Sage Frazier. So she's your race leader, and she's going to overcut the corner, and that's some pretty good contact there with the Uke tire for the 44 of Olivia Reppin. Going to bring out the first yellow flag for the Youth Hornets, and we'll see if Olivia can get that car fired back up. You see her moving around in there, flipping the switches, trying to get it going again. As there she goes, going to take the scenic route on the 3/8 and join the field. We'll take a look at replay right there.
Takes second. You're probably a little bit startled after that little bit of collision. So into the corner they go, and I thought they were all playing nice, and then they weren't. Ouch. Rear end of the race car into the Uke tire, and off into the 3/8. At least going to be nice to see that the 12 of Frazier can still go, as let's get a look from turn 1.
Yeah, it looks like Frazier's got in the corner and push the car. So, I mean, when you say a push, especially in the rain, it's when you're turning the front wheels and it's not turning the car at all, and you just push and go straight forward, and that's what we saw right there. So, lights out on the Speedway Chevrolet pace car. It looks like everyone was able to rejoin the field as it's going to give the lead over to Diesel Snyder in the 717, Dakota Grchala, and Chevy Vincent, your top 3. Green flag back out in the air, 19 laps to go.
So, Snyder inherits the top spot. Grchala sits in the second position. See what he can do with Diesel into the inside. That's a nice run for Grchala. Let's see if he can make it pay off.
Actually, it's a she behind the wheel. It's a she behind the wheel of 27 machine.
She can make it pay off.
As I think we have the same amount of females as males in this series. It's really been female dominated on the podium, it seems like, in 2022, exception of Riley Riddell, who's won a few of these races. So we'll see what Dakota Grchala has for Diesel Snyder, putting a ton of pressure on the back of that 717. Chevy Vincent following through, and here comes PJ, the 18 Paisley Bender, bringing Riley Riddell as well. So the top 5 on a little bit of a breakaway here. 717 Diesel Snyder getting a little bit loose off turn number 4, allows the 27 of Dakota Grchala to peek to the inside for a second, but doesn't have enough right there in turn number 1.
Snyder had a lot of straightaway speed, even though pushed wide through that corner, ends up recovering and still getting to the bottom side to cover. So it's going to be Snyder still holding off Grchala. Grchala tries to come in high through turn number 4. That opens the door down low. Let's see if Paisley Bender can sneak through. Yeah,
let's keep an eye on the 20 car this time. Let's see if he does the same thing he did last lap. Doesn't look like he's going to the inside, but he was almost all the way out on that gravel, way on the outside of the backstretch of the 1/5 mile, using every inch of asphalt, trying to make a run, and he tucked down to the inside this time as Grchala getting a good run on the outside. Looks like Diesel Snyder struggles through the corner, just can't quite get the car to rotate, and he has a lot of straightaway speed, which allows him to keep this race lead, but I don't think if he keeps getting runs like that off the corner, I think it's going to fall to the hands of Dakota Grchala or Paisley Bender right behind him.
You can see he's having to lift really early getting into the corner. Watch the car just kind of bob, I guess, for lack of a better term, where Grchala's is still digging and gaining all the way through. And, yeah, you've got a new race leader. Nice move, Dakota Grchala up into the lead.
Yeah, she went all the way around the outside of Diesel Snyder. Look at that lead she opened up down the back straightaway. Got a great run off at turn number 2. And, meanwhile, a really good battle for third. Looks like Bender on the outside of Rudell. And we'll see what they're able to do as they try to close on the 717 Diesel Snyder. A little bit of contact there from Riley Rudell. Sends Snyder sideways, keeps his foot in the throttle, and gets it going. Good save there for the 717, but he's going to lose 3 spots in the process.
Rudell the second. Bender now sits third as they come around the corner. And Bender's got a nose underneath Rudell in the 20 car, trying to move herself forward. We've seen Paisley really get faster here over time. Snyder's got a little bit of a handling problem mid-corners. You saw him wash wide once again.
Yeah, I think that time he was trying to look at the same braking spot as the cars in front of him and carry a little bit more speed than he had been, and that got the car loose on entry in turn number 1 that time. Yeah, able to save it and keep moving forward, but with that contact between Riley Rudell and Diesel Snyder, look at the lead it's opened up for Dakota Grchala. She's been able just to run her line, have no one in front of her, no one behind her, and just focus on her own racing line, and she's really opened up a race lead. There you see it right there. About a quarter of a racetrack for her.
Yeah, at the halfway point here of this feature, Dakota Grchala is making her way up to possibly feature win. And of course, this segment, as you watch Grchala, brought to you by Bardall Manufacturing, located in Seattle, a world leader in automotive lubricants with oils, additives, and lubricants for your car, truck, boat, or motorized toy. Pick the brand racers around the world rely on. That's Bardall. Celebrating over 82 years in the business and operating in 90 countries, make Bardall your brand.
And I believe this is Dakota's second race of 2022. First race out, they just got the car together, struggling with it a little bit, ended up on the podium in the B main event, but definitely not what the night they wanted. This looking like a great redemption night on HCI Nelson Motorsports weekend at the races, as she's on her way to almost about a little over halfway now, actually, and she's got quite the race lead over Riley Riddell. Getting in some lap traffic now at Sage Frazier, going one lap down. 7 laps remain, though, for Dakota Gruchala on the 27 machine.
If everything stays as it is, and we know that Riddell can clip off some good laps and make up a lot of time in a big hurry, but that's a lot of track space to make in what's going to end up being 6 laps if we stay clean and green. Caution flags can change the entire equation, so Gruchala's got to hope that that green flag stays out, and the next one she sees is the white, not the yellow.
Exactly, yeah. Now Preston Brandt's going to be the next car that she's going to try to put a lap down, as she has Sage Frazier between her and Riddell right now, so at least 1 lap car cushion with a wet racetrack, so it's a little bit harder to click off those really fast laps and make up a lot of time, but it is easier to make a mistake on the wet surface, so we'll see as long as Dakota can keep it clean and green, and that's one thing that Riley Riddell does have an advantage of, is he's raced quite a few times this year, both in the Pro 4 truck as well as the Youth Hornet, so he has a lot of experience on the wet asphalt, so we'll see if he's able to not make a mistake and maybe force Gruchala into one and try to take over that race lead. Now there's 2 lap cars between him and Gruchala, and with just 4 laps to go, that's a tall order even for Riley Riddell.
Something very smart that Gruchala did there is she went up and around to lap Brandt, is not cut it close. She actually gave an extra little bit of space to Brandt going around the outside. That way, in case Brandt flinched or something happened, she'd have a little bit of buffer room in order to try to deal with it. I thought that was very savvy of her to, hey, I'm faster than this guy. I know I can drive around him. Let's give him a little additional room just in case something goes. And that's also knowledge of the situation, knowing, hey, I got a big lead here. I'm leading this. I'm comfortable. The only thing that really can stop me is these lap cars.
Exactly, yeah. And she does have side view mirrors on that car. I know some Youth Hornets, the parents will opt to take all mirrors out of the cars just so they focus on what's in front of them and give them less things to have to try to worry about. And if Dakota is using those mirrors to her advantage, she knows that she has quite the lead over Riley Riddell and doesn't have to push the issue as the white flag is out for her one more time around for Dakota Gruchala on that 27 machine. And we don't have any sponsors listed, and as a new driver, hey, if you're watching at home and want to sponsor a great Youth Hornet right there, 27, Dakota Gruchala heading down the back straightaway for the final time in the Youth Hornet main event.
Funded by her future college fund, and a checkered flag coming out. Congratulations, Dakota. That's an awesome race win. A dominating performance, in fact.
Exactly, yeah. Here comes Riley Riddell around the corner. He'll come home second, and it looks like Paisley Bender will hold off Chevy Vincent for the third and final spot on the podium. Do not go anywhere. We got plenty more racing action right here on CW11.
Thank you for tuning in to Home Track Heroes here on the CW11. Caleb Hart, Kyler Hope with you as we have got more action coming your way. The Legend Division with us for their A main event, and this one is priming to be a good one.
Exactly, yeah. It's their second one on the weekend as well. So Hornets have a doubleheader. Legends, they have a doubleheader as well as we get set to go. Rolling out, looks like Lieutenant Chris Thompson getting a little sideways, trying to catch up to the field as he starts on the pole, actually. So we'll just jump right into the lineup with him. The 10-car Chris Thompson, sponsored by LB Motorsports, sits on the front row alongside Matt Pioli in the 66, sponsored by Mazda of Everett.
The second row is Travis Bliven. He is in car number 27. Next to him, Gene Watson, the Premier Painting at number 18.
Third row, we got the 33 of Kyle Lang, sponsored by J2 Racing Parts, and the 33 of Braden Wager, sponsored by Dirt Cheap Sewer.
Row number 4, it is the Kent Collision Center, number 98 of John Zaretsky. Next to him, Chad Sinner, the multiple-time and defending track champion in the Mazda of Everett 11C.
Then we move on to the 3M of Keith Taylor and the 32 of Brian Estrin, sponsored by LB Motorsports.
Behind them, Robert Zimmerman, car number 22, Tire Pros of Arlington, his sponsor, and Davis Jacobson, the Evergreen Concrete, cutting number 15D.
Rounding out the field is the 37 of Mason Nelson, sponsored by Welland Brokers, as we got a good field of legends here on a very, very slippery 3/8 mile oval as we get set for 30 times around, as it's going to be a very exciting one. I mean, the legends, whenever they're out here, they put on a great show. Yesterday was an awesome battle between the 11C of Chad Sinner and the 30 of Mike Holden, who we do not see out here today. So we're guaranteed a new winner on the weekend at least.
It's soggy At minimum, right?
Yeah.
There you go.
That's a good word for it. It's very, very, very damp out there. As we'll see, kind of like what we talked about with the Hornets, that outside line's really going to be used a lot because that's where the most traction is at. But don't put it past John Zaretsky to dive way down to the inside like he's done in the past and try to make up a lot of spots at once.
That we've seen that the last time that we had a wet weather race for these guys is Zaretsky and Holden, in fact, were the two that were getting after it big time in that one. Zaretsky leading most of it before Holden got him late. Let's see if we can continue this on. We roll through 4 and underway here for 30 laps in the Legend cars as the green flag's out.
Pioli getting a good jump on the outside, going to bring Gene Watson along with him as that inside line just has a pretty big disadvantage here in 1 and 2 unless they're able to slide up and clear whoever's on the outside of them. But expect to see that outside line really moving as they carry a ton of momentum down the back straightaway. Pioli, huge lead, 27 Oblivion getting loose in front of the field. It's sitting right there in third, that great 27. He's able to hang on to it. But Braden Weiger and looks like, Chris Thompson going to go around. We'll see if we're able to stay green here as to get it fired back up. It looks like he's going to get it fired back up and keep rolling. So we'll try to stay green for now. There we see him getting back out on track. So that's for sure. Pioli up front, Gene Watson second, Travis Bliven in third.
Just wanted to check out the puddle there hanging out at the bottom of turn number 4.
And maybe do some fishing right there real quick.
I'll bet you the fishing's good this time of year. So, yeah, nice run early here from Pioli. Pioli trying to stretch and get as far gone from the rest of the field as he can. As you see, Bliven leading Wager and Sinner. And obviously, again, we hinted on it. Sinner has been the top dog in the division. There's Zaretsky cutting the bottom, just like you talked about. Looking for room down there. He's got a line that he's pretty comfortable with. As there goes Sinner making the move to the outside of Wager for 4th.
Yeah, going to squeeze around the 30 car. I didn't think there was a line there, and he's able to make it work. So Chad Sinner trying to waste no time to move to the front of the field. He's going to look to the inside of Bliven now, going down the front straightaway. So inside, outside, anywhere you can try to find some little bit of unused asphalt is where Chad Sinner's going to be. Is Bliven's going to wash up a little bit there on entry corner, allow the 11C to get by, and here comes the 30 of Braden Wager trying to get by as well, moving to the 4th spot.
Kind of saw that Sinner knew exactly how hard he could push his car through that corner, keep his momentum up, and saw that Bliven was, going to have some problems mid-turn, just like he did. There goes Sinner. Now they're starting to stack up one by one. That's an impressive looking run of cars. Here comes Zaretsky to the extreme bottom on Wager on his way through.
Yep, and up there goes Bliven off track like we were just talking about, as he's going to come to a stop down there outside of turn number 1, try to get the car refired. So, yeah, we just mentioned how he's having a little bit of trouble in the middle of the corner, and then next lap he comes by and misses the corner completely as we cut to a little bit late right there. But, yeah, tough break there for the 27 Bliven.
Well, the fishing might be good off of turn number 2 as well. So Bliven will take a couple of seconds, regather as we go 2 by 2 and restart this race. Tough news for Pioli, as Pioli had established a nice little lead there over Watson, and now everybody gets to start right next to him as the green flag's out.
Yeah, and tough break for Watson and Sinner as they're going to be forced to restart on the bottom here, and Zaretsky's going to go way down to the inside like we had mentioned before. Let's go 4 wide with Legends. Why not?
Well, track's got plenty of room for him. Lots of space, as it's going to be Watson taking advantage. So Watson leads, Sinner second, Pioli third, with Zaretsky now up to 4th, at least as they enter turn number 3.
Yeah, then Kyle Lang and Wager are side by side for that 5th spot. So it looks like Zaretsky actually got a little bit loose right there. But, hey, new race leader this time by Gene Watson, followed by Chad Sinner. So I mentioned how they might be at a disadvantage on the inside line. Well, they're proving me wrong as they both moved up a couple spots right there.
Yeah, you can see the wars for the high groove here as everybody is watching. I don't want to say follow the leader, but that's where the fast groove has been. Meanwhile, Bliven and Thompson together.
Yeah, been a tough race for these two so far. So it looks like it's going to bring out another yellow flag for Bliven as he's going to get refired once the yellow flag flies and going to try to rejoin the field. As we take a look at a replay right here. Just gets tight in on entry again, and this time he's going to drift up on the outside of Chris Thompson.
Ooh, yeah, a little contact going in and through, and just like that, splish splash, he was taking a bath.
So we'll line them back up for another restart. This segment is brought to you by Angel of the Winds Casino Resort. And Angel of the Winds Casino Resort now has sports betting. Think you can pick a winner? Prove it at Angel of the Winds Casino Resort, the only home for sports betting north of Seattle. Exit 210 off I-5 in Arlington. As we get set for another restart. And if I'm a betting man, I'm going to say that was not the last yellow flag of this race.
Okay. I am going to bet on the car that is leading coming out of corner number 4 on the final lap.
That's probably a pretty good bet.
I think that's safe.
Yeah, that's a safe one.
Making the dive down to the bottom of the racetrack.
That's another safe bet that Zaretzky's going to be down there on turns 1 and 2 a few more times.
It's paid dividends for him, though. I mean, this time he doesn't pick up a spot, but he sure had a chance in case Pioli had slipped up or something. Now, here's the problem, is that he scrubbed a little bit of speed on the exit of the corner, and here comes Kyle Lang trying to take fourth away from him.
Exactly, yeah, the young Kyle Lang, he's been very impressive in the Legends. He was Rookie of the Year last year, second overall in points, but up front, it's Chad Sinner trying to chase down Gene Watson, who is your current points leader. And Chad Sinner, like you mentioned, the many-time reigning champion in Legends, I believe 3 times. The 3 times we've had points for them. He's been Chad Sinner up top, and he's the reigning champion, and he's trying to hunt down the 18 of Gene Watson. Still 24 laps to go. He's going to look to the inside off turn number 4.
Interesting move there by Sinner. You watched him follow, and decided it was time to not follow anymore. Let's pull out a line and see what the bottom's got. You can almost see it visually there, how much more water is on the lower part of the racetrack in 1 and 2. Watson using it to his advantage and still driving away on the high side, but Sinner getting a little experimental, trying to take it away from him, and Pioli's closing back in.
Yeah, and this surface right here really allows for, I mean, like what we see a lot of times in dirt, like a slide job, dive it way down, drift up in front of the guy in front of you, and then, well, sometimes see a crossover down the back straightaway. So it's definitely a different style of racing than what we're accustomed to here with the Legends, but it's definitely very entertaining and a lot of fun to watch, especially when the guys are able to keep it clean and keep it green.
I love when the wet is down on the racetrack, how it makes the drivers go up, and you can see much higher on the racetrack. They're forced to run right on the ragged edge, and this is not an easy situation. It's not just like go up and find the dry stuff. It is still wet up there, so they've got to be very, very precise in getting in, getting around, and where they're picking up the throttle. Nice move by Sinner. That's a big run to the inside this time.
Yeah, and he's going to try to drift up. Couldn't quite keep it equal with Gene Watson, so he's going to fall back behind Gene and right into his tire tracks into turn 3 and 4. Ride the high line again this time and try to carry some momentum, see if he can make another move into turn number 1 and 2. It seems like Chad might have the faster car, but is just trying to find out what he can do with it and where he can put it and make it stick and take over the race lead. We have 10 laps down, 20 to go. So a third of the way through, Chad Sinner trying to hunt down Gene Watson with Matt Pioli hanging tough right there in 66. He's not letting the top 2 really get away.
That's a very impressive run by Matt as he's watching his employee right in front of him,
Yep.
Chad, try to chase down Gene. Now, we've talked about it before. Catching him's one thing, passing him's another. And again, your passing room on a track like this is just a little bit different. Even though Sinner's got what appears to be the faster car, there just isn't quite the dry enough, grippy enough lane right now for him to make total use of it. Watson knows that, and Watson's being consistent, just up there, hitting his marks time and time again. He's forcing Sinner to figure it out. He's not just handing it to him.
Exactly, yeah, and Chad is definitely the type of driver who's not just going to go up there and wreck the kid either, because then he knows he get black flag, he move to the back of the pack. Chad's a smart enough driver not to do something like that, so we'll see what kind of pressure Chad's able to put on Gene without maybe putting too much on and take them both out of the race, as he's getting a really good run in the middle of 3 and 4. He's going to look to the outside of Gene, and right as he does that, caution flag comes out. That might have been Chad's chance right there. So we'll have to take a look and see what happens. We're getting told there's a car off of turn number 4 into the tire, so we'll see if we're able to get a shot of that real quick, but tough break there for Chad Sinner.
Yeah, he had the run. One of the things I was about to say is that Sinner grew up racing dirt primarily, as we look over into the corner, trying to figure out who the heck is over there.
I think it's Robert Zimmerman.
Oh, that sucks, Robert. You can't park your car there.
Yep.
Well, all right, we'll come back. We're going to have some more Legend action. We'll talk more about Sinner and talk more about this A main event as you're watching Home Track Heroes here on the CW11.
Welcome back to Home Track Heroes. We're in the middle of the Legend main event as we still have 18 laps to go. It's Gene Watson leading Chad Sinner and Matt Pioli, with Kyle Lang and John Zaretzky rounding out your top 5, and it's been exciting so far. Chad Sinner, he had a great run when we went to break, but then the caution flag came out. We'll see if the 11C can recreate some of that magic on the outside line as the green flag is back out in the air, and he's going to stick it right to the back bumper, maybe get a little bit of a tap there to Gene Watson in turn 1.
Wow, it's like they had magnets on their cars there, at least for the first quarter and a half. Now Sinner bump and run down to the bottom of the racetrack. See if he's got the momentum to get in there through 3 and 4. High side coming into play for Watson, down low for Sinner. Good battle for your lead on the restart. And Watson going to hang on to it just by the hair of his chinny chin chin.
Yeah, you can see how loose Chad was in the middle of 3 and 4. He was really fighting that car, but he was able to stick to the inside for the moment. Still not enough to clear Gene Watson going down the back straightaway as Chad's giving him everything he's got. 17 laps to go, really trying to make that inside line work. It's just so hard to keep the car underneath you with how wet it is down there.
Yep, so he's going to tuck back into line at least down the straightaway here, and let's see if he, or how much longer he chooses to follow Watson again before making a move. You know, I was starting to talk before the break. Sinner grew up on the dirt with runs in junior sprints, restricteds, etc. He's got an idea of how racetrack changes and how different lines can be used during the course of the race. Well, right now it's been all up and around the bottom, but maybe he throws a surprise at Watson a little bit later, throws a flyer on him and tries to shake him and rat him a little bit. So far, Watson, the vastly more inexperienced of the two, doing a good job not being shook.
Exactly, yeah. It's Gene's first year in racing. I believe this is his 4th race ever, 4th or 5th, somewhere around there, and he's doing a great job leading majority of this race so far, and he's stayed calm, cool, and collected with Chad Sinner all over his back bumper, literally on that restart, really putting on the pressure, and he's not seemed shook at all.
No, he's halfway home at this point in time, over halfway home, 16 down, 14 to go, and he just continues to go up and around the high side. He knows exactly where to keep his car. He's hitting his marks nicely. He's actually opened it up on center a little bit, getting into turn 3 this way. And that would make Watson the happiest, to actually open up 3-4 car lengths worth of racing room. That way, if you do have a lap where something goes a little haywire, okay, cool, just right back at it, rebuild the lead as we've got a battle for third.
Yep, that's Kyle Lang to the inside of Pioli, and we saw that earlier with Bliven. Just got really tight when you hit that wet stuff on entry. When you're in that lower line and drifted upwards, Kyle was able to keep the car underneath him for the most part, and he slid back in behind Pioli, and now it's Zaretsky putting the pressure on Kyle, and then we got Braden Weger right there as well, so it's really a good battle right here. As Pioli got really loose that time off turn number 4. He's going to lose all the momentum. Kyle Lang's going to get to the outside.
Yeah, you saw Pioli. I think he just exited that turn a little too low and got slippery with the tires. That's going to open the door. Here comes Lang to the inside. Now, we have seen middle down has not been a happy spot on this racetrack in 3 and 4, so Pioli's got a chance to rebound, and rebound he does getting into the turn. Question is, will he exit high enough coming off the corner? Meanwhile, for the lead, now Sinner's starting to attempt going a little bit lower on Watson, and Watson might have started going a little lower into turn number 1. And Gene, I say this, that's not what you want to do. Keep running your thing and make him beat you. Don't change your line at this point in time.
Exactly, yeah, and let Chad do everything he wants behind you. Just run your race. And it's hard to do because, I mean, you feel Chad right on you, and you're trying to stay calm, and it's hard to do, especially for an inexperienced driver like Gene, but he's doing a great job so far. And meanwhile, Pioli, he's been the big loser in this battle for third. Zaretsky's able to work his way up, take it over from Kyle Lang. Here comes Braden Weger looking the inside of Lang. Meanwhile, Chad Sinner getting another good run down the back straightaway. It's hard to look everywhere at once because there's so many great battles on the racetrack right now.
I wonder if some of these spotters are starting to communicate to their drivers and showing like what Zaretsky just did. Is Zaretsky is now a half lane down for where they've been running for most of the race, and you saw Sinner experiment with it and actually make a bit of a run. Now, Chad might be holding that in his back pocket for like a run with 5 to go. Don't show your hand a little too early as he's following, but you've seen this groove kind of about halfway down from where they're exiting the corner start to dry off and provide some good racing. Let's see what happens as Watson was just starting to sneak in a little bit lower into that corner. Careful, Gene. I mean, you've got this, but you still got to make 8 more good laps as Sinner continues to chase him and the yellow lights flash.
Yep, and oh no, it's third place John Zaretsky going around. He looks like he probably got loose off the corner and spun it down the front straightaway. We'll see if we get a replay of it, but judging by where he refired the car back up, that's what it looked like. Is just up in front, right in front of Kyle Lang and Weger, and Pioli almost tagged him actually. So lucky there, everyone was able to avoid Zaretsky, but tough break there for Johnny Z, who was running third at the time.
Well, he'll go back to the back and try to climb his way back forward as watch him down the back straightaway. Gene Watson, Chad Sinner, and now Kyle Lang sitting in the third spot. Nice run for Kyle as they'll come off the corner, and we will start it once again with just 8 more times around to come.
Yeah, so, I mean, I would say it was a tough break for Gene there, having to restart with Chad right behind him now, but that's where Chad was at anyway, so it just brings a few more guys into the picture. We'll see how this plays out. Gene a little bit lower that time than they have been through turns 3 and 4, and we see Zaretsky duck way down, trying to make up those spots he just lost. Weger looking to the inside, Kyle Lang for a moment. He's going to tuck back in the line, so we're remain single file all the way back to Zaretsky, who's battling, looks like the inside of Davis for the 7th position or so. But all eyes up front on your top 4 who are nose to tail. And there goes Chad Center way down to the inside.
Gonna make the big bonsai move. And boy, he had enough speed to clear it. Nice move, Center. Watson counter punches where he takes the lead down the back straightaway. Now let's see what Chad throws at him again, coming off the corner and into 1 and 2.
Yeah, there was a crossover move we had mentioned, very dirt-like move, and Gene's going to overshoot turn 4 a little bit. He's going to have to get out of the throttle just enough to allow Chad Center to get to the inside. That time at the line, it actually shows Chad Center, your new race leader, with 6 laps to go. Gene going to get a huge run down the hill again, going down the back straightaway. I see the rookie has for, oh, he gets really loose that time. Oh, no.
Oh, that's going to cost him. Yep, so the lead's now Center's as Watson. One mistake, overshot the corner, leads to one more, and Center finally locks her down. Boy, what a great battle that was between the two of them.
Yeah, Gene had a huge run off the top of the hill, almost diamond the entry off the corner right there, and had a ton of speed going down the back straightaway, and just got a little bit loose and had to check up. Otherwise, I think we would have probably saw another crossover entering turn number 3. But look at that, Gene Watson, a huge run that time down the back straightaway. He's not letting Chad Center check out very easily.
Knocking on the door, saying, "Morning, morning, Chad. What are you gonna do?"
So roles reverse right here, yeah.
Yeah, going to make him earn it here over the last couple of lapses. There's only a couple of car widths separating those two drivers with 4 to go, coming into 3 to go. Impressive from Gene Watson.
Yeah, these two drivers are both really hungry. Chad Center, he's been off the top step of the podium for quite a while now, looking for that win that he's wanted all year long. He's got a few podiums. He got 2nd place the night before, but he definitely wants that win. And Gene Watson, his first year in racing, he's been on the podium already once. He wants that race win, and he's putting a ton of pressure on Chad Center, not letting him check out like we thought he might do once he got that clean air. But Gene Watson still right there, putting a ton of pressure on the back bumper of that green 11C.
So Center continuing to set the pace, down to 2 to go. Can Watson make him flinch now? As there's only 6/8 of a mile remaining here at Evergreen Speedway in this Legends A main event. Back straightaway, Center still good. Watson running out of time to do anything.
Yeah, but with that wet weather and these legend cars, I mean, any small mistake could still happen no matter what part of the track they're at or how many laps are left. So we'll see what's able to happen right here. White flag is out, and not to mention Braden Weger right there, sitting in 3rd place. The young kid, it's his first year at Legend Racing as well. So we're looking at a really young and a really inexperienced podium right here, minus Chad Center, who's going on the back straightaway into turn 4 for the final time.
Nice run, Chad Center. Back to victory lane he goes, back to the top of the podium, as he'll take the checkered flag. But I'll tell you what, promising as in 2nd, Gene Watson. Nice run. And like you said, Braden Weger, a great 3rd. Zaretsky climbed his way back up to 4th at the very end.
Yeah,
nice run, John.
Pioli coming home 5th after leading a few laps early, starting up front. And then I think that was Kyle Lang who came home 6th, and we saw him restart 3rd in that last restart, fall back a few positions as well. So, I mean, overall, great race there in the Legends. I mean, that was a battle for the race lead the entire time, and Chad Center obviously very happy. You see him drifting off of turn number 4 right there, and I'm sure he's going to do a little bit of donuts right here in the wet weather, and he's going to be ecstatic underneath that 11C machine.
Well done, Chad. So, yeah, hard fought to get back, and, not the best donut, but he's got some time to improve it.
The wet weather doesn't help him.
Nah, definitely not. So we move on from the Legends here on Home Track Heroes, and forward we go on the program. It is time to go to the BECU mini stock division and look at these cars who raced in wet weather before when we've seen them. They've had an interesting season as far as that goes, and we're going to have our eyes obviously on the 18 of Lane Sundholm.
Exactly, yeah. And Calvin Miller, he's already got 1 win on the weekend in the Hornet division, and now he's going to be out here in a mini stock, and he's actually going to be on the front row of the mini stock. So BECU mini stock's rolling out onto track right now. The 27 Calvin Miller on the pole position, sponsored by Erickson Real Estate, and his outside the 32 Chase Garner, sponsored by HCI Steel Buildings.
The Absher Build LLC number 26 of Jimmy Absher, inside row 2. Justin Braves 21J, sponsored by Clean Crawls, outside row 2.
Then we got the races against the Child Abuse Machine, the number 97 on Nat Barber, inside row number 3. At his outside, the aforementioned Lane Sunholm, sponsored by Monroe Fish and Chips.
Row number 4, Jason Wilson in car number 20. And outside row 4, Ken Legault, the 22 car, sponsored by Serve Quick Process Service.
Then we got the 221 of Lyndon Smith, sponsored by PRCBD.com. And to his outside, the 72 of Ronnie Absher, sponsored by U.S. Seafoods.
The daughter of the Cookie Queen, it is the 24 of Jaden Kelly at the back of the field. Jaden sponsored by Tom's Automotive.
As we get set for 30 laps around the 3/8 mile as well for the BECU mini stocks.
That's right. Boeing Employee Credit Union believes in people over profit. BECU, altogether different.
Not only are they a sponsor of this class, they're the sponsor of this segment. So BECU all around a great partner here at Evergreen Speedway. Excited to have them on board again here in 2022 as we get set for 30 times around in a very, very exciting class. I mean, we've seen it all this year. We've had leaders go flying off into turn number 1 and 2,
That's right.
Especially in the wet weather. So we'll see. We can talk to Jimmy Absher about that if he makes up on the podium again.
We'll see if he's learned a lesson.
Exactly, yeah. And then Calvin Miller, he's been impressive in that Tiffany Ingbaum number 27 machine. Tiffany, who we normally see behind the wheel, is out for a few weeks. So Calvin stepped up behind the wheel at 27, and he's on the pole. We'll see what he's able to do. And he's got the 32 of Chase Garner at his outside. That's the championship car from last year that was wheeled by Colton Price. So we'll see what the front wheel drive cars have up on the front wheel up on the front row.
They've got 30 times around to figure it out as we are underway, and they're already beating and banging down the front straightaway as it's Miller rolling next to Gardner, and Miller's got the early lead, but boy, Absher really using up the front bumper early here in this.
Yeah, all over the back bumper as they're going to go side by side down the back straightaway. Garner again, that good run on the outside as it's going to be very similar to Legends. That outside line's going to be the preferred lines. We're going to go 3x3. Lane Sunholm sticking his nose to the outside. Why not?
World? 3x3, 2 rows deep coming to the start-finish line. Can't even tell who's got the advantage there, although now you see it. It's going to be the 32 working his way around in Gardner. So Gardner trying to lead Sunholm in the outside line. There's Absher battling back on the inside.
Yeah, Absher got a great run off the bottom there, so it's very impressive by the 26 machine. He's going to drift up, though, and lose a ton of momentum. It's going to allow Calvin Miller to get to the inside, and the 32 get back to the outside. We're still 3 wide.
What in the world? Holy cow, they go 3 wide again. As it's Miller and Gardner making an Absher sandwich, and Absher, the meat in the middle, drives his way through to retake the lead down the back chute.
Wow, so the Absher is really strong in turns 1 and 2, but then lost all that momentum last time by. So we're going to 3 wide for second. Lane Sunholm going to get into the 32 of Gardner, and somehow they all keep it going straight. So that got really tight there. I would be concerned if I was Lane Sunholm because I got hit on the left side and the right side right there. So hopefully all 4 tires are able to stay up on that 18 machine. He's going to go outside of Miller this time as Absher's able to check out from these 5 momentarily.
You know, like the pinball when it gets up in the top of the machine and goes clankety-clank off of the really short bumpers a lot of time and scores you a billion points? That's kind of what like Sunholm looked like coming off of the corner there. He just went beep and drove all the way through his lookout. Gardner gets a little squirrely, and that car, that's really squirrely.
Yeah, that's Lyndon Smith going for a ride out there in turns 1 and 2, and he's going to get fired back up. Hopefully we'll stay green for now, as it's still Jimmy Absher up front. Now Lane Sunholm second, Chase Garner third, Calvin Miller fourth, and Nat Barber, and it looks like that was Justin Brave 21 battling for fourth.
Well, all kinds of interesting stuff happening at the back of the field, but we're going to keep our eyes right here. We saw Absher and Sunholm, and they were the two in the early to mid portion of our last wet weather race that we had for the mini stocks who really got after it. Sunholm trying to track him down, and he has rightfully said that he is not super comfortable in this car in wet weather. We'll see if he can run down Absher in front. Sure looks like he's narrowing the gap.
Yeah, and he's running that outside line, which Jimmy's way down, almost like a middle to low groove, which I just don't understand because that's a lot less traction right there, and you carry a lot less momentum. So I wonder if maybe that's just where Jimmy feels more comfortable, or maybe he's a little bit scared after his last incident going flying off in the 1 and 2 grass and stuff. So maybe he's just trying to play a little more conservative here, but I think it's going to bite him as Lane Sunholm really taking advantage of that outside line.
Yeah, if you're Absher, somebody's got to be telling you need to get up racetrack a little bit further than what you are as Sunholm's down and really bearing down on him. You see how much gap he makes at corner entry and how much further into the throttle he can keep it through the corners. And on the outside, they're nearly even, Steven, as we complete our 9th lap in, making our 8th lap in, 22 to go.
Yeah, and Jimmy getting really loose that time in the middle of the corner. That's going to allow Sunholm to completely check out going down the back straightaway, as Asher does get a pretty good run for running that lower line, but I just feel like it'd be so much faster to run the top part. So we'll see if he maybe tucks up and now follows the lane and see what he's able to do in that 18 machine.
Sunholm's going to set the pace now with 21 to go. They're 3 wide once again coming off the corner with Gardner, Miller, and Moore. As the yellow lights are on, we've got a caution on the racetrack. Jaden Kelly is around. We'll take a break here on Home Track Heroes and come back with more right after this. You are watching the BECU Mini Stock main event here on Home Track Heroes on CW11. I am Caleb Hart. He is Kyler Hope, and we are 10 of 30 laps complete here in this A feature. Coming off the caution flag for Jaden Kelly, Lane Sunholm is the black with pink number 18 car, bringing you back to the lead here in the A feature. Jimmy Absher in the black with blue and orange 26 to his outside. And Absher trying to get that good jump, trying to pin Sunholm down low, force him into the wetter portion of the racetrack. But Sunholm going to drive away. Nice restart for him as we go back to action.
Yeah, we'll see what Nat Barber does right there, sitting in that third spot. He was pushing Jimmy Absher all the way through the corner, and some contact right there, heavy contact between, that was like the J12 of Justin Brave.
Yeah.
21J of Justin Brave drifted up into Nat Barber, made some heavy contact with that right front, as we saw both of them kind of lift up for a second, as that's Ronnie Absher who went around the back straightaway. He's going to get fired up and stay green for now. So that was just all sorts of chaotic behind your top two. Is we also saw Gardner go really sideways through 3 and 4. So I think almost about everyone besides your top two had issues right there. We'll have to see if that right rear has too much damage on the 21J of Brave, and then the left front of Barber, it looks like he's limping back there in that bright orange car. Now he's lost quite a few spots. It's 6 currently.
Yeah, so it looks like the 32 of Gardner might have come out of that thing okay, as he's still driving up and around. And Brave, I don't think he looks all that worse for the wear, although stuff like a tire rub when you rumple a fender or something like that and get into it doesn't show right away. It takes a couple of laps before that body panel to really rub on the portion of the tire that's going to end up making it lose air or not, what's the word I'm looking for, tread evenly across the racetrack and really affect the handling. So first few laps, you wouldn't notice that, but let's give it till we got about, I'm going to say 12 to go to really find out if that's going to be a factor.
Yeah, that was some really heavy contact there between the 21 and the 97. So tough break there for Nat Barber, as we see him fall way out of the picture now, as he was having a really good run. I was just talking about him, as he was putting a ton of pressure on the backside of Jimmy Absher. I think Nat probably would have been able to get around him because he was running that higher line and seemed a lot more comfortable up top on that racetrack. But it doesn't matter now because he's fallen way back, because we still got a really good battle right here for third between Gardner and Brave.
Brave back to the inside now on Gardner's. They're coming up on the slower traffic, and look out, Gardner. You saw the back end of that race car try to come around on him. Brave jumps and moves up in position number 3. Nice move from Brave.
And I believe this is Justin Brave's like second or third race on the year. They've been battling issues with this car a lot, so having just that little bit of inexperience probably is what caused him to get sideways on the wet track, because all these drivers now have at least 2, if not 3 or 4 races on the wet weather.
Yeah.
So Justin Brave's lack of getting the car out here a few times this year just got really loose right there. Probably a lot slicker than he was expecting on that lower line, and that caused him to drift up into Nat Barber. And he maintains a third spot for right now. We'll check back in with your race leader, Lane Sunholm, and see that huge gap he has over Jimmy Absher. Just absolutely checking out over the 26 machine.
Wow, yeah. Well, Lane looking good, comfortable, easy. You remember at the previous very heavy wet weather race, it was Zach Bristol who ended up making all the ground up on him and running him down. Well, Zach's not in this one, so he might have it a little bit easier coming into just a few laps to go, a little over a handful, 12 if you really want to count.
Yeah, and he goes around the inside of Nat Barber, who's just limping around with that left front. Heavy damage, as you can kind of see right here. That front quarter panel is crinkled up a little bit. It's almost sitting down on the car on that left front suspension a little bit. You got to imagine some suspension damage or even just a tire going down on the 97 machine causing him to have to slow down that much.
Well, make your laps, get your points at the minimum, right? That's where he's at this point. Meanwhile, we're going to flash back to your race for third once again as Gardner trying to reel back in on Brave. Brave in the black 21, Gardner the white with orange number 32, and this time roles reversed, as earlier it was Brave low and Gardner high, and now Gardner trying to work a little bit further down the racetrack than we've seen a lot of the other drivers.
Yeah, Gardner, like I mentioned, this car was a championship car last year. He's going to get really loose and get really sideways. Made contact with third place Justin Brave, and that's going to lose a ton of time, as we saw him completely sideways right there. And he's able to get it refired, Gardner was, and get it going again. And now he's side by side with Lyndon Smith for fourth. But that's going to allow also Calvin Miller at 27 to come into picture as well. So now third through sixth, all right on your screen.
working to the inside of the slower car of Barber, and Barber up a lane. Meanwhile, they're all coming off the bottom of the racetrack, and again, that bottom's starting to actually dry out to the point where you can run it and run it consistently here. You watch them down there, lower on the racetrack, kind of middle groove entering as Brave. Sails are high, and here's Smith really putting the challenge to him and bringing Miller with him.
Yeah, tough break there for Gardner as he made that contact with Brave and then lost a few more spots. So tough there for the 32. Like I said, it's a new car for him this year. It was a championship car last year, so we know it's fast, but it's just also a hard car to learn how to drive, and it's going to be really funky in the wet weather. Sure doesn't help, but he's doing a great job up until that point with the contact with Brave. Now he sits in the 6th position trying to make up those spots back as Lyndon Smith doing a great job in the 221. We saw him go around earlier, and now he's been able to make up those spots, and that restart obviously helped him. That caution flag that came out helped him a ton as he's now sitting in the 4th spot trying to down and trying to get on the podium for the first time in the mini stocks.
At least they're getting lots of practice with their wet weather setups this year, right? I mean, glass half full version of that. And they're racing even despite the wet weather as well, which other than that one time, rain or shine, we race here at Evergreen Speedway. Yeah,
unless the track's flooded and it becomes a safety issue, we will be racing here at Evergreen Speedway as it can always still provide some very, very entertaining racing.
That being said, we do have boats coming up later on in the program.
So the wet weather does make sense for one class this weekend.
That's right. The best of all times. Look out. Sprint guarded. Turn number 1 goes Gardner. Nice save. There's Lane Sundholm. Hey, look, Lane Sundholm's leading. Who would have called that?
Oh, yeah. I kind of forgot about that.
Yeah, well, he's done it so much.
Haven't missed much, yep.
Yeah. He's still undefeated on the year, right?
I believe so. That does sound correct, yep.
Well, it looks like that's going to continue.
Yeah, but
if I was up at the casino, I would be putting a bet on.
Exactly, yeah. So Angel to wins.
Sportsbook.
Yep, exactly. Yeah, so Lane Sundholm about a quarter of a track lead over Jimmy Apsher. 4 laps remaining for Lane Sundholm in that 18 machine as he works the high side of 1 and 2 again. Kelly is just a yellow car we saw going a lap down as Nat Barber has pulled off the racetrack. Just doesn't want to tear up the machine, I'm guessing. He figured he got everything he could out of it. No, it's just not worth the hassle and possibly tearing up his car or some other race cars with just 3 laps to go now.
Yeah, Lane's got such a gap. He's got enough time to bring up Netflix on his phone in the car and watch an episode of Stranger Things. That's how much of a gap he's got.
Exactly, yeah.
He just looks like it's on easy mode for him. As there's Lyndon Smith, and following him, Calvin Miller. Miller going to try going way, way low on Lyndon. Shows him a door panel for a second, but Smith right through the middle groove picks it back up and trying to drive away. Trying to put Legault further down on the pack.
Exactly, yeah. Lyndon Smith having a great run here in his mini stock. We saw him earlier in the Hornet division. We saw Calvin Miller as well in the Hornet division pick up the race win. So a couple Hornet drivers here in another 4-cylinder class battling hard for the 4th spot. As it looks like Justin Bray was able to check out from these 2 enough and hopefully hang on to that final spot on the podium as the white flag is out for Lane Sundholm one more time around the 3/8 mile for that 18 machine.
All right, Lane, hit the pause button on the Netflix. Now just make one more lap. You'll be good. Cruises down the back straightaway. Finishes surf and yelp, finds his dinner reservations, comes into 3, off of 4, and to no one's surprise, checkered flag and another race win for Lane Sundholm.
Lane Sundholm, first place. Jimmy Apsher coming home second. Back-to-back podiums for him in the 26 machine. And Justin Brave, after that contact with Nat Barber, is able to hang on for the 3rd spot on the podium and is, I think, 2nd or 3rd time out this year, or 2nd or 3rd main event start this year at least. And then a pair of Hornet drivers, Lyndon Smith and Calvin Miller, rounding out your top 5 as we'll head up to the booth. As it's still a very damp racetrack down there, as you can tell by our speed shots, just absolutely covered in water from the race cars. But we're going to change courses for the first time tonight. We're done with the oval track stuff. We're going to move in to the figure 8 course for the Stinger 8 main event.
Yeah, wouldn't be a home track heroes if we didn't have some figure 8 action. The most dangerous intersection in the world. Next here on Home Track Heroes, and a good field of cars as well.
Exactly, yeah. This segment is brought to you by Blue Boy Golf and Event Center. Looking for the perfect location to host your wedding or special corporate event? Look no farther than Blue Boy Golf and Event Center in Monroe. A beautiful 9-hole golf course with awesome mountain views makes a wonderful venue for your special day, as we have a huge field of Stinger 8s ready to take action.
Mike Hathaway looking for a hole-in-one off the pole of this. The rep in welding and rail, number 46, and next to him, it is the 77 of Caleb with a C. Childs.
Next up, we got the 11 of Sierra Goss on the inside of row number 2, the 18J of Jackson Beckel to her outside, sponsored by JBR Racing.
Third row, Andrew Reinders, the Whidbey Donuts, number 40, Josh Beckel, the 13J outside of him.
Then we have the 49 of Calvin Miller again And the 73 of Derek Meyer, sponsored by Boney Brothers Racing.
Row behind them, it's Peyton Hopp, the black and yellow number 16 Papa's Tavern, the sponsor, and the 111 of Ashley Shoe Car, sponsored by Be Happy Carpet Cleaning.
Next row, we got the 43 of Zach Bristol, sponsored by Rairdens Dodge Chrysler Jeep Ram Monroe, and the 1 of Dawson Cox, sponsored by Cox Wheels Racing, filling in for Brandon Lindbergh.
Talk about a bunch of people who just run anything that they are given here in this heat race between Cox and Miller, and here, go run this car. It'll be great. Cool.
Exactly.
We're off and running.
Green flag is out. Not to mention, we also got Peyton Hopp, last year's Hornet champion, in here as well. He ran the Hornet race, and it's just a whole mixture of cars as we go flying down into the South Pole. Caleb Childs, he's going to take over the race to lead with Jackson Beckel filling up his rearview mirror.
Caleb with the C, Childs. That's very important. As they cross the intersection and work their way into the North Pole, Jackson Beckel says, hello, coming through, and into the lead off of the North Pole.
So taking over the race lead and leading lap number 1 is Jackson Beckel for the 40-lap Buzzin' Steakhouse Stinger 8 main event. 40
lappers?
Yep,
we gave them 10 bonus laps?
Yep, exactly.
We're going into overtime. I dig it.
And I think Dawson Cox just passed about 7 cars, and he lost a bumper in the process. But look at all the cars he just got around, because he was last on that last lap.
Whoa.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, about 6 or 7 cars he just got around that one corner.
Now, Dawson owns that car, right? That one is his race car that's normally driven by, and of course the name is escaping me right now. Yeah, Brandon Lindbergh, who always wins in that car. So, all right, well, cool. Car owners got to go have some fun every once in a while.
Yep, so he is running for points. So when you see the little asterisk next to his name up in the ticker, that's why that's there. Is just signify that he's running points for someone else. And he is making all of it count so far, as he's already up into the top 5.
Yeah, and making moves. He is right on the back of Reinders, who's really working hard to try to get up in and pass. Look out, Ashley Shoe Car is going to get passed by a couple of guys. Here comes Peyton Hopp working through, and Bristol in the 43, that's really the 07, but it's the 43 for the points in this one, or however that works.
It's the 07 that's now a 43.
It's a 43, I see
it's
the
43
number.
on that side,
Okay.
yeah. So, well, I don't know. We'll figure that one out as we go along. It's Sierra Goss getting a little bit of a tap right there.
We are just the announcers. We are not the NASCAR officials. They can take care of the ruling and the points on that one.
Exactly. That's correct. As we see Peyton Hopp, we get around one of the 11s or pink ones. There's a lot of them right there in that group.
It's an 11 and a 111. The combined, there's a lot of ones.
Yep. And they're all going to be pink, of course.
That's right. It's the correct number. It's just a lot of it.
So up front, we are now looking at the Beckel battle, as it's Jackson leading father Josh. That's, of course, the name escaped me right there as I needed it. I was on a roll for a second.
Yeah, Jackson and Josh, the Beckel battle. Say that 15 times fast.
As they have some intersection traffic now they have to deal with. It's Caleb Childs almost getting the back bumper. That's also hanging off the 13. So I guess if you have a red car, your bumper only has to be half on. Is that the rule?
This explains why it's been a good week for rear bumper cover sales. As they work through the intersection once again. So this is funny. Father-son getting after it. Jackson the younger, Josh the elder. Running 1-2, Jackson in the black with blue and orange. As we're going to get a good look at the intersection here. Yeah, they're really having it. Oh, yeah.
Sierra Goss and Beckel.
Timing up good.
And then here comes Hathaway almost getting the back bumper of Cox. So, but it's heating up early. We're only 6 laps in, and we got 34 more of them to go. Now 33 that time by. Dawson Cox is going to try to get a 2-for-1 deal right here.
Yeah, it's Myers who just wedged his way inside Reinders, and now Cox is finding some room to the outside. All the while, here comes Bristol closing in on those guys, too.
Yeah,
cool.
Of course, Zach Bristol, he's no stranger to any configuration here at Evergreen Speedway, no matter it's the 3/8, the road course, the reverse road course, the boot, or the figure 8 course. He has experience on, and he's showing that right there as he's working his way forward. Beckel having to slow down a little bit to avoid Shoe Car in the intersection. That might allow Father Josh to close the gap a little bit with the 4-car train coming in behind him as well.
And you could nearly throw a blanket over those 4 for that 3rd spot, as right now it's Myers trying to hold off Dawson. Dawson kind of gets the door closed on Reinders finally. So let's see if Cox can figure out his way. Wow, okay, yeah, that intersection's intense. Look out.
Here comes Dawson Cox trying to get the inside of Myers. Almost there. A little bit of a bumper contact as they do have the intersection they have to worry about just enough. Calvin Miller avoiding Caleb Childs right there. Now it's a 5-car battle right here.
Well, look at the talent in those 5 cars, too. Wow. Okay, yeah. Whoa.
Oh, Sierra Goss barely squeaking by.
Something's going to happen here. Something has got to happen.
Yeah,
there's no way we're going to get through this intersection clean this many times.
Only 9 laps in. Yeah, it's going to happen. So there goes your race leader. And then here comes second place, the red car coming in on the Hathaway. And then It's 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th place hunting him down.
See, that got a little bit cleaner that time. Dawson's drifting backwards a little bit here. He just lost a spot. To the inside goes Reinders.
Yeah, Reinders, who we've seen been a staple in the Stinger 8 class last few years, and he's really been improving, got a few podiums under his belt, and he's showing why right there, putting the moves on Dawson Cox, who's won in about everything here at Evergreen Speedway, and Dawson's trying to get back to the back bumper, but he's got Zach Bristol to worry about.
Yeah, Bristol right there, about ready to run that bumper cover over that's just been hanging, dragging. Might speed him up a little bit. That's a drag, technically.
Latch onto it.
Yeah, that works.
Get your ride for a little bit.
And Calvin Miller's now involved in this whole deal, too.
So Calvin Miller, this is his 3rd race on the weekend, at least. So his 3rd main event that we're showing right here for Calvin Miller on that 49. All 4-cylinder stuff on the 3/8 the road course, now figure 8 racing. So he's getting the nice variety in as well.
Seat time's a good thing, no matter what it is, right? Be versatile, be able to drive in a bunch of different stuff. So Bristol trying the way outside here. Meanwhile, Cox has gotten back to the inside of Reinders, who hasn't been able to get around the lap car of Hathaway. Hathaway is going to get a love tap for his efforts. He swings wide, and that might have been the love tap that everybody needed. Is bye-bye Hathaway, 3 wide off the corner, and here comes Bristol, and here comes Dawson. They're 3 wide through the intersection.
It's hard to tell who's going to come out on top because it always changes who's going to be the inside, who's going to be the outside, depending on what part of the track they're on. Dawson just happened to be lucky to be on the inside that time around the South Pole. He's going to take over the 3rd spot. Bristol, I think, has the faster car of all 3 of them. That's a big bump from Reinders.
They save.
Yep, Dawson Cox, of course, able to hang on to that car. It's going to allow Reiner to get back to the inside as they stay green. No black flag there. It's just a short track racing, right?
That's right.
That's what we call it.
It's a rub, son. A rubbin's racing.
So we still got this 5-car battle for 3rd heating up as Josh Beck up there looked like he had to get on the brakes momentarily to avoid some intersection contact. So there's a little bit of the retaliation. It all worked itself out. Yep, short track racing. It works itself out. So Dawson Cox gives the return bump to Andrew Reinders. He's going to take over that 3rd spot. Zach Bristol right there, and Reinders hanging on to 5th with Calvin Miller sitting home 6th. And there goes your race leader, Jackson Beckel, who just has an eternity over his dad, Josh Beckel, who's just going to miss out on hitting the Sierra Goss right there in the intersection.
We still got a lot of race left to go. We got 25 more times around here.
Not even halfway.
It is the endurance version here. It's the 40-lap Stinger 8 feature, the buzz-in Stinger 8s. And starting to spread out a little bit more. That pack that had been running so close together for 3rd through 6th, 7th is at least starting to stretch. Now they're coming up on the slower traffic of Caleb with the C. Childs.
Yeah, and that allowed that erased Josh Beckel's lead over 3rd, 4th, and 5th place, and that's going to allow Dawson Cox to the inside. We're going to go 3 wide right here with Caleb Childs away to the outside. Here comes Josh Beckel trying to hang on to that 2nd spot. Like I said, red cars just lose their bumpers a little bit easier.
Yeah, apparently that's how it goes. Dawson didn't make it around him on that time by. However, right there, feeling froggy, saying, hey, I might jump, coming through the intersection, and just a tap-tap-tap-a-roo coming in through the North Pole.
Yep, trying to give Josh everything that he has, trying to get around, looks to the inside, it's going to put him on the outside, going around the South Pole, and he's maybe just going to give him a little bit of bump, try to make him make a mistake, as there you see across the bottom of your screen go Jackson Beckel, so he has just about a half a lap lead over this battle for second between his father, Josh Beckel, and Dawson Cox, who has so many laps in this class, none this year, as he's filling in for Brandon Lindbergh, who's been the points leader, been pretty dominant in that one machine. So a lot of pressure for Dawson Cox as he's trying to take over the 2nd spot.
And Zach Bristol right there to be a factor as well. So if Beckel can't hold on to this, he might drop 2, maybe 3 positions as Reinders is coming in. Looks like Dawson's got it pretty well secured. Now the fun begins as they're side by side with intersection action. Here comes Beckel back.
Yeah, the bump and run back for Josh Beckel. It's going to allow Reinders to get around Bristol and almost around Dawson Cox this time by, as we have 10 laps remaining. As the intersection is so tight as they continue to go on this battle for 2nd place. Jackson Beckel's away from this. Hey, let you guys battle it out, and this is becoming very entertaining. There's a big bump right there from that was his 43 of Bristol on Josh Beckel. He's going to get fired back up and get back going.
Wow, and we stay green.
Jeez.
Holy cow. So down to not a whole lot of time left in this thing.
There goes the bumper.
Finally. About time.
I think that was Sierra Goss, or it was a shoe car. One of the pink number 11s or 111s got the back bumper right there of Dawson Cox and cleared the way. As now the battle for 3rds between Zach Bristol and Andrew Reinders as they split some lap traffic. That was Hathaway who's almost getting the back of Reinders. So this has been an exciting race. How can you not love the Stinger 8 division?
Yeah, this has been epic. I mean, except for your leader, who's just been out front, just doing Jackson Bexel things, apparently.
Yep.
It happens.
He grabbed the lead really early, which, I mean, we saw Dawson Cox at the end of the field. He had led lap number 1 was Jackson Bexel, so he's definitely had the easier route to the front between your top two, as Dawson Cox has had to really work for the second place so far, as we still got 7 laps and a very, very hot intersection still.
Yeah, lots going on. Anything can happen with 7 to go in the Stinger 8s. Just carefully, one by one by one, but you see they are crossing with some good frequency there.
Yeah.
I'm surprised nothing's gone down yet.
Exactly, yeah, because with the wet weather, it's a lot harder to get on those binders and brake, as Jackson Bexel really cutting it close with, I think that was Reinders, who sits in 4th place, so it shows how big of a lead he has, as this intersection is just entertaining. There goes Childs through just in front of the 43 of Bristol.
Man, shocked at this one. I guess Beckel's doing a pretty good job of managing it. He knows how much space that he's had. He's really not gotten himself into big intersection trouble yet. You'll watch him again coming in through as he's trying to run down some more of those back-of-the-pack cars. Able to take a nice, clean run through. Doesn't have to jump on the binders too much. So we're down to 5 to go.
Yeah, just 5 laps remaining, as Calvin Miller having to get on the brakes hard. Caleb Childs, Peyton Hopp, and the 11 of Sierra Goss, or that might be Shukar, actually, the 111. So he's got 4 lap cars right in front of him. So that could spell for disaster at any moment, because the intersection's still really hot, and he got some slower cars in front of him that could slow him up very, very quickly.
Yeah, and some good cars as well. We've seen Miller have a lot of speed during this, as we're going to go watch again as they work down around the South Pole. Single file freight train style. Jackson Bexel, that black with blue and orange number 18, right on the back of the 111 of Shukar. Got to be patient enough. You don't want to get yourself penalized for, dumping a lap car. That'd be bad.
Yeah, and there he goes, putting the bumper to Shukar. Shukar showing he's not very happy with that, and they almost take out John Peterson in the process, and that's going to bunch up the intersection there. Jackson Bexel having to get hard on the brakes. Thankfully, he's able to find enough traction to slow down to avoid Derek Myers right there, as he just has 3 laps to go, and look at the one car. Look how quickly that lead has disappeared.
Whoa, and nearly gets tagged in the back coming through the intersection, so Cox is running him down. Bristol's following the intersections, getting hairy, and we've only got 2 more passes coming up here. Time running out. Can Bexel survive? He's got to jump on it. There goes Cox.
So there goes Cox around for the race lead. That was Shukar that got into Myers, which got into Bexel, and that's going to bring out the yellow flag with 2 laps to go. And that huge lead we talked about for Jackson Bexel is now gone, and we have a new race leader in Dawson Cox.
Let's look at it one more time on the replay. Underneath Shukar, jams on the binders, and just, oh, wow, Shukar into Myers, into Bexel. Cox goes by, and a caution. How ugly is that for your race leader?
Yeah, it looked like Shukar was really not happy with Jackson Bexel with how much he was bumping her, trying to get her move out of the way, and just a tough break there. You are not going to want to go anywhere, as we have the 2-lap shootout in the Buzzin' Steakhouse Stinger 8s coming up when we return. You are watching Home Track Heroes as we have an exciting 3-lap shootout for the Buzzin' Steakhouse Stinger 8s coming up right here. Kyler Open and Caleb Hart up here in the booth for you guys, as Jackson Bexel has led almost every single lap of this race until that last caution flag, which handed the lead over to Dawson Cox. Green flag is out as Zach Bristol and Jackson Bexel battle hard for the 2nd position.
We're officially into the portion of the program where it gets weird, because it's only getting weirder after this, and this has been a funky little finish. Cox jetting out to the lead. They go side by side for 2nd, as it is Bristol in the car that kind of used to look like a Davey Allison car, and now it is a car of many colors, trying to circle around the outside of Bexel. Bexel, who was the leader, tucks into 2nd and has just a couple more tries to get back past Dawson Cox.
Yeah, about a lap and a half for him to see what he can do. He put the bumper there, so he has the fast car, trying to see what he can do to get around Dawson Cox. Jackson Bexel obviously has more experience on the year. He's going to look to the inside, go around the North Pole. He's going to move Dawson a little bit. Can't quite get to the inside. That allows Zach Bristol to get his outside. White flag is out one more time around.
I think Dawson was putting all of the brake fluid in that car into work, because he was just parking it there and say, all right, dump me. Come on. I dare you. Now, through the South Pole they go. Intersection not going to be a problem, and here's going to be the action corner. What does he do? He gets in, and he just stood on it again.
Yep, I don't think Jackson Bexel could quite get all the way there. He's in the center of the corner trying to, just does not have enough. Dawson Cox, your race winner. Jackson Bexel, heartbreak, comes home 2nd, and Zach Bristol comes home P3 in that 43 machine in a very, very exciting Buzzin' Steakhouse Stinger 8 main event. Wow, I am out of breath from that one.
It's going to get weird. weird. It's only going to get weirder. There's Dawson in victory lane, pulling her in backwards, and oh yeah, smoke show. Don't worry, kid. Yeah. There's not a tire shortage or anything.
found a little bit of dry asphalt right there to get a little bit of smoke going for the crowd. But like you said, things are gonna get weird. So we're gonna stick with the 4-cylinder theme, which you had on all show so far, and except we're gonna put them on the 1/5 like the Youth Hornets.
Okay.
But rules are a little bit different.
No, now, ladies and gentlemen, contact is not only encouraged, it's required. Mini bumped pass time. Here we go.
So John Peterson, put that black flag away. You're not gonna need it.
Nope.
We know it's his favorite flag, but he can't use it for these guys because, like we said, contact is very encouraged.
All right, so Scott Kiesling's the 24, Sarah Elliott's the 5'11". They make up your front row. Sarah's sponsor, Off-Road Vixen Clothing Company.
Next row, we got the 69 of Malachi Caldera, and then the V8 of Steve Peters.
That's right. Josh Gray, the 77. Josh Zilster, the 382, making up row number 3.
Then the 6 of Richard Taylor, sponsored by Belmont Cabinets, and the 80 of Michael Cocking.
Row number 5, Justin Jones, the V18, and Travis Krieger in the 05.
The 07 of Jacob Thornborough, and the 79 of Sonny Turner.
Matt Somerville, the 21. Richard Turner, the 26, makes this up 20 times around the 6th mile. You have to run into them to get by them. Now, it can be a tap. It can be a slam, it can be a full-on spin, but you gotta do something. You gotta at least hit them. Now, a little leniency is being given if the car is way off, tiptoeing through the tulips or something like that. Okay, you can drive through them. They've wiped themselves out at that point in time. But otherwise, from here on, whack-a-mole.
Exactly. Send them in another zip code if you have to. As we see them all sorts of cars towards the back of the pack, but up front, it is Steve Peters, who's, and that looks like it was Scott Kiesling, just hiding away, trying to avoid it. So Steve Peters is going to take over. We got a nice little parking lot right there in the lake, and they avoided the tires, so that's good. Avoided any contact. We got the nice Argyle machine right there. It's a 511, I want to say. Is it the 511 Sarah Elliott right there on the nice the Argyle? It's a good-looking car.
You're calling that Argyle. Okay, good enough by me. I'll live with it. Listen, this entire field should be racing in fear of Steve Peters.
Yeah.
He is the most legendary of the bump-to-passers that we have. For a reason is somebody a little bit sideways.
24, Scott Kiesling, your pole sitters. We got some cars up on the 5.8, just hanging out up there because, why not? The 07, Jacob Thornborough going a little bit of drifting action as well.
Decent place to watch a race from.
Yeah, exactly.
Front row spot. All right, come on, Steve. Yeah! Argyle Mobile around.
Argyle around. So it takes out Sarah Elliott. And like we mentioned, Steve Peters. This is the Sean Peters Truck Fest. The Sean Peters Truck Fest Memorial. So Steve Peters racing right here in honor of his son, who we lost a few years ago, many years too early, is Steve Peters and his son Sean, the staple here at Evergreen Speedway in the camo and the Superstock figure eights and every sort of thrill type of contest is Steve Peters out here putting on a show. And he's hunting down that's his own team car right there. I think that's the V18 of Justin Jones. He's eyeing up for a second.
Oh, he avoids getting the one and just going to get around in the back of the other. That a kid. Woo-hoo.
So the 6 right there, Richard Taylor doing a great job avoiding one V8 machine, but gets taken out by the other one.
Not so fast, my friend. And then Steve got tagged and lost the lead, and he goes right through the lake. Perfect.
Yeah, make your own course. So that's Somerville in the 21, who should be your new race leader. Or is it 77, actually?
It's the orange
Josh
car.
Gray. Yeah, 77, right. Josh Gray. So he's going to take over the race lead. He's going to hunt down the police machine. I believe that's Richard Taylor or Richard Turner in the 26.
Josh Gray, you have opened up a can of worms you don't want to open up, buddy, here. Yes. Yep. Dialing him in. That's not so much a wagon. It's more like a battle Corolla. But as he gets into the North Pole, coming around 3, he is eyeballing Gray. It's like there's a big, gigantic target on the back of the car. He's the trainer at the dog show wearing the milk bone underwear as he's going to take out the Argyle car. Come on, Peters. Get him. Get him.
He saved himself.
Yeah!
Oh, and there goes Peters. Somerville is just going to take the race lead. He's going to send the 77 of Josh Gray around up in the tulips.
All these wet conditions make this even better. Yeah, Peters! Get him. Take that Pac-Man car out. He let him off the hook.
Wow, great driving there from Somerville. So this is your first and second place. I don't remember a bump-to-pass race where the top 3 were all battling like this. This is phenomenal.
I love it. All right, Pac-Man car's coming, chomping back down. Jump, 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 jump. Coming after the Ghost, right? He's going into turbo mode, and then he just sends it way too hard. Peters drives away.
So I don't think this is over, though. Somerville is a very crafty driver behind the wheel of that 21 machine. We'll see if he's able to catch up to the V8 of Steve Peters, and I'm sure some lap traffic here is going to make it interesting any moment. So we're going to keep an eye on the top 2 momentarily as we're going to go back. Argyle machine getting pushed back around by, I think that's Sonny Turner right there in 79.
Yeah, Sarah, the Argyle's really just a target out there. This is more a Carhartt crowd, okay?
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
Valid argument there.
So she'll cruise around at the back. Now let's see if Let's see if there's some revenge coming. Oh, yeah, get the 07. Beautiful.
That's Thornborough going around,
Nice
sliding around, and turn into a hit. Oh, that would have been really cool.
That was almost nice execution. All right, Peter's back on it. Starting to wipe out some lappers.
It's funny watching the wet conditions to see them go sliding sideways. As Turner's going to avoid it. He finds the gap there.
Nice save.
Wow.
Nice save.
So the V18 Justin Jones stayed out tires, but then he's going to see his boss man over to the left, sending the 07 of Thornborough around.
This might be my favorite mini bump to pass that we have had. This is just chaotic. I love it.
Yeah, wet weather. It's keeping the speeds down a little bit, which I think is allowing the cars to last a little bit longer, but it's still just as exciting watching them slide all around. As Somerville has not quite been able to close that gap on Steve Peters. Meanwhile, Scott Kiesling, your pole sitter, he's worked his way up into third. Not sure how many laps down or anything, but he's up into third at least. So we'll continue to watch your top two try to battle each other as Thornborough's getting tossed around.
Yeah, that 07 car of Thornborough is just having a ride. He might be getting dizzy at this point.
Speaking of dizzy, there goes the Argyle machine. Sarah Elliott around one more time. But hey, she's a trooper. She's hanging in there. Light's still working on that car and everything.
That's right.
And then here comes the police, the Popo, 26 of Richard Turner coming in.
Turner's saying, hey, you bad guys, it's time. I'm busting you. Although he's not throwing that car around too much. Argyle's taking a break. Sarah's tired. Hey, listen, I've spun enough. Unfortunately for Thornborough, revenge.
Trying to slide it through, avoids the Uke tires.
Whoa.
Meanwhile, is that no, I thought it was a broken tire rod on the 26 machine, but it's just the paint on the tires.
What in the name of kissing your sister is that paint job on the 05? Holy cow, Krieger. That's all over the place.
It stands out at least.
True, yeah. 4 to go. We haven't seen your leader in a hot minute. I'm sure he's out there looking for chaos. It's okay, yeah. So Thornborough
going around.
Not yet. Listen, she just got back on the track. Oh, the cop car's having some words.
He's trying to pull someone over.
Slow words.
I think they might be hooked together. That's the V18 of Justin Jones, so they're hooked together for a moment, and they get unhooked just to take him out.
Oh no! Krieger just spun Peters. Get him back, Peters. Come on.
So there's Kiesling, who was third place. I don't know if he's laps down or took over the race lead. We'll have to keep an eye on the ticker this time as they come by. I believe it's still the V8 of Steve Peters, your race leader. I don't see Somerville. There he is, the Pac-Man mobile coming through. As he's got about a straightaway race lead. It's still Steve Peters, the Argyle machine, trying to get the 80 car back this time.
Hey, she was trying to give a little bit back. No problem.
There goes Steve Peters taking the 05 around. Travis Krieger.
Nice. Love it. Loving it. Throw that white flag. Let this be the most glorious mini bump pass.
Oh, Krieger with a huge hit right there on taking out the Popo.
Oh, gosh. Give me more mini bump to pass and give it to me now. Wow. This has been great.
Yeah, this has been a phenomenal 20 laps. Sometimes with the bump to pass, we see cars drop out so quickly, or some cars not tend to last as long. As I think we had almost all of them running here towards the end. As Steve Peters going to come across the line, sees Thornborough going around in front of him. Checkered flag for Steve Peters. Looks like Matt Somerville in the Pac-Man mobile gonna come home. Possibly.
And he tags the wall.
There we go. There he goes. Comes home second. Scott Kiesling in third. Wow, what a mini bump to pass race.
Yes, let's get weird. Let's get weird. I love it. Oh, so Peters wins. Congratulations, Steve. That was awesome. That was
yeah. Obviously, it's got to mean a lot to him racing for his son on a night like tonight. So a big win there. Put on a great show in the Battle Wagon, the V8. But we're gonna bring up to the booth. Give our officials a second to get set because we got some more excitement this time. The wheels on the bus, they're going around and around.
Let's go to the bus.
Around our figure 8 course, too.
The last time we saw buses, we saw the best bus wreck that we have seen in a long while here, where one of the drivers was sitting there flicking on their cell phone, surfing Tinder, something like that, and then smash up off the back. So, thankfully, Conley Graber has secured sponsorship from LASIK Eye Repair. Yeah, so the 27 bus, Conley Graber. Joe Constance, the 0 bus. This bus, by the way, is sponsored by Chops Bus Garage.
Ooh.
He's running in memory of a Robert Osaki out here, who was the longtime employee for Joe at Joe's Racing Products, and we're all kind of heavy-hearted right now. So Joe gets to go out, and it's not, a little tiny race car, of which Robert was one of the best tire guys you're ever going to see, but he gets to go play with the bus, and if Robert is around, you say, here, I got the tires.
Exactly,
yeah. No problem. So Josh McConnell is in the 7 bus. He is sponsored by Vote for one of the political parties, I don't care who.com. 24 is
new one.
24 is Brian Duncan, sponsored by busrepair.com, which he may be needing after this. We mentioned Graber. Jay Van Buskirk is sponsored by the fine folks at Nutrisystem. Jay, he's a big dude, but he knows it, owns it, loves it, and it's going to be good as we're off to Green Flag Racing. Ooh, John Peterson's out there, 59 bus. The Black Flags Inc. one, our flag guy's out there. Jeff Ritter, sponsored by Def Leppard. That's the 65 bus. Cody Day is in the Little Itty Bitty Baby bus, sponsored by guys with little itty bitty baby hands.com. And then the white bus with stuffed animals, that is Michael Duncan. And Michael Duncan is sponsored by bees?
We'll go with it.
Yeah.
We'll roll with it.
It's got stuffed animals in it, so who knows?
So the bus race underway is, I think this is the first time that at least I can remember we've had the buses in the rain, and it is very entertaining because we see this all the time, sliding way sideways right there.
Whoa!
And keeping it under control is it's you see them drift around all these corners, and it's been a phenomenal race so far.
You've seen more of this than I have. Isn't Van Buskirk's normally a figure 8 guy, right? So he should have a natural advantage here. He's a pretty talented driver as it is. So now it's just, a much longer
nice little tail tap.
wheelbase. Oh, yeah.
You look at them working the wheel in there. That's a 27 of Conley Graber. So that LASIK must have been, that LASIK sponsorship must be doing him pretty well. He's slinging that thing around there.
It's doing good stuff out there. All right, I'm into it.
As he's going to get turned sideways by the little bus.
Indeed. As we're watching that go around, we got to let you guys know this segment brought to you by Central Welding Supply's mission of excellent service. It hasn't changed since 1975, a locally owned family business providing gases, safety, and welding supplies. Central Welding Supplies. Their expert staff makes the difference. Find their 25 locations at centralwelding.com.
We may need to get some welding supplies to put some of these buses back together after this race because we've seen a lot of contact so far. And there's the newly painted USA bus driven by Jeff Ritter. So we've seen him out here usually in some different buses. He got a new bus this year, and he's slinging it way sideways in the South Pole.
Wow. Okay, he's around. Where's my boss? I haven't seen the Zero bus in like a hot minute. I need to figure out if he's taking a nap or what. Well, there's the 7 bus just hanging
27,
out.
the 38, J. Van Buskirk.
Yeah.
There he is.
All right, come on, Joe. Don't get intersection, boss.
Whoa, that was really close. That was, I think...
was it Duncan in the white bus with the stuffed animals?
Yeah, I almost get taken out by John Peterson.
Man, that Tickle Me Elmo almost had a Tickle Me Bad time.
So John Peterson, maybe looking for some revenge on Michael Duncan. I don't know what for. I think it should be the other way around. You think you'd want to go back after the flagman, not the flagman going after the drivers, but maybe Duncan wasn't listening to some instructions earlier. There's a good intersection hit right there.
Nice. Duncan wasn't the one who punted the tire pile that he stood behind earlier, right? That was somebody else.
No, Shukar.
Okay.
Shukar and I think Beckel were the two involved in that.
What you're telling me is we need to get Shukar into a bus. That way John can take out his aggression that way.
Yeah, there we go.
I'm into it.
So that was the 7 bus of Josh McConnell who got hit by, I'm not sure who was driving the other bus. It was the longer... I don't know.
Was it Joe? Did he end up making the smash? He might be.
It's this bus down here. Can we get a number on it? The one that's just coming to a stop. USA bus.
Van Buskirk.
Van Buskirk. Okay. Maybe.
Wait, yeah. No, USA bus is.
That's the other USA bus of Ritter.
Is it Duncan?
It could have been Duncan.
Okay, all right.
We'll go with Duncan. It was Duncan who did it.
Listen,
so great hit from Duncan on Josh McConnell right there.
It's bus racing.
Yeah.
If anything, this is more like Whose Line Is It Anyways, where the rules are made up and the points don't matter, nor does where you're ending up being going to matter either. We're just going to arbitrarily say who's going to win.
Exactly, yeah. And we got Principal Guthrie down there. He's a very brave man standing down there in the tire pile where we see John Peterson for the flags because we've seen these buses like Jeff Ritter right there send some of these Uke tires go flying way into the intersection and Kevin Guthrie put himself right in the middle of it.
Joe's bus is called the Pea Shooter. That's fantastic. I like this even more. I think we should arbitrarily give Van Buskirk the win because his name has bus in it.
Yeah.
How does that sound?
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
If your name is Van Buskirk, you can't be losing.
Yeah, that's correct. So we continue to watch. I think John Peterson is out front. We won't say he's leading. We'll say he's out front because he's not really put on that great of a show for everyone else.
We're going to give the win to somebody else.
Yeah, exactly. Because Flyer can't win.
Oh, don't tag my boss. Careful, he's going to go to work. All right, no, he made it safe.
And that's a very close intersection hit right there as one of the buses came very, very slow. And here comes, I think it's Duncan, just going to go left.
He didn't even make the full course. That's a bad Duncan. Bad. Somebody take his Kermit out of that thing. He's clearly distracted.
Joe's going to get split right there.
No, don't hit my boss's bus.
Oh, and they're face-to-face right there. I think that's Conley Graver and Jeff Ritter, and they made contact last time out here.
Yes, they did.
And now they're facing each other, so maybe they're just going to avoid each other's time.
No, gas it up and exact revenge. This is what we want to see.
So
I mean, it's like bump to pass buses?
That'd be interesting. What if we do like train racing with buses?
Oh my goodness! Don't threaten me with a good time. That sounds like
So
fun.
it looks like a white flag is being thrown for John Peterson, although he's we'll call it that's the beginning of the finish, but he's not the real winner.
Yeah, they're probably getting tired out there.
So Jeff Ritter trying to go around to take over what would be the race lead. He's going to drift it around the South Pole.
Wow.
Look at him work the wheel right there.
Wow.
That's some incredible driving by Jeff Ritter.
Feels like we should give this up on like judging, like we're going to do at DriftCon coming up here at Evergreen Speedway.
That's a good idea.
Right?
Yeah, there's enough drifting in this. It makes sense.
Yeah, all right, I'm into it. So even though Peterson's about to come around and take the checkered flag first, we're going to give the win to Van Buskirk because he got a cool name. We're going to give second to Ritter because of the awesome drifting, and I'm giving third arbitrarily to Joe because he'll fire me if I don't. So, yeah, there we go.
We'll say fourth to Duncan. He didn't complete that many laps, but he did make a pretty good intersection hit right there.
Yeah, that was pretty legit.
So put on a show for the fans that are all in attendance because it was a huge show out here. Love seeing you guys out here. We got one more segment coming up right here on CW11. Do not go anywhere. You will not want to miss it.
Well, I don't know how we could have any more fun than we already had in the previous segment here on Home Track Heroes on CW11. But, Kyler Hope, now we're going to put cars with boats on the track for boat racing.
Yeah, not only just on the track, in the figure eight.
Yes.
So we're going to do all sorts of carnage. It's wet. It's slippery out. And we just got even more water down on track thanks to that boat right there.
That's right.
So let's get to know who's behind the wheel of all these cars, at least majority of them. We got names on almost all of them. Behind the 8, that is Bruce Holmes. So we got the 19 of Talon Kolar, and then the 20 of Skylar Cruz.
Tyler Robron is in the 22. Thomas Greenberger, that's a good boat racer name. That's the 28. Mystery Driver in the 38. And we had a Tim racing last week that we didn't know who it actually was, so this is going to be Tim Jr. in the 50.
Tim Jr. in the 50. I like
Tim
it.
Jr., yep.
So then you got the 59 of Kim Timlick, and then the 63 of Tyler Grubb, and the 69 of Ted Hunt.
All right, 99, Kenny McDaniels. 191, Caleb Robinson. The 711 is Devin Bellis, and the USA has no name on it, so being is that the previous car was the 711, the USA car will be driven by Ampem.
All right, sounds good.
All right,
we'll roll with it.
We're giving some love all the way across, right?
Yeah. So as soon as we get all the cars out onto the track, we will throw the green flag. As it's very unorderly, and there's not really keeping track of laps or anything like that. It's mainly whoever can hang on to their boat the longest is how we'll kind of score, or whoever puts on the best show. I think we'll give points out to people who knock boats off or destroy boats.
Sure.
And extra points, maybe if you send a uke tire across the track, or
we should clarify, we're not going to keep track of these points at all.
No,
they're going to be completely arbitrary.
Yeah.
So one driver might get like 3 and one other might get 3,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're about equal.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and at the end, we're just going to declare a winner.
Yeah, it'll make sense. Don't worry.
Yeah, we're good with this. It's boat racing. None of this makes sense, right?
So we're getting set. Yellow lights are still on as we get ready to roll. It's going to get chaotic really quick, I feel like. As lights go out, green lights are on.
Yes.
Let's see who's going to lose the boat first. That's Caleb Robinson, I think, in the 191, who's going to latch onto the 20 of Skylar Cruz and just follow for a little bit.
Oh, they're just straight up turning into the boats. They're just trying to kill them boats. Wow. Yeah, boat's going down. Down you go, boat.
And that's a really long chain on the 99. I like that.
Whoa, he's trying to whip his own boat off.
Going to get wrapped up in his own boat.
And that's a little baby boat. I feel like he could defend that boat even better if he just got out.
Oh,
nice.
And that boat hung on. That was surprising.
Wow.
So we got the 20 of Skylar Cruz really going after these boats right here. And
whoa.
See how slippery it is as they get into the corners. See how hard it is right now on that one puddle up there above the North Pole. Caleb Robinson's going to go around as well.
Wow.
Slide all the way around as 59 is going to lose a boat or gain a boat. I think.
If we were doing this as a 360 contest, we'd have some really early leaders in the clubhouse. That's fantastic.
So Kim Timlick picked up a boat right there. As that's going to yep, that's a nice cutoff right there. There goes a uke tire.
Yep.
Caleb Robinson in a uke tire across the track. So that's going to be, I'm sure, coming to play later. And there's the 69, I think, of Ted Hunt.
Wow.
Going to carry a boat along with him. So
I feel bad for the Evergreen Speedway cleanup crew because there's pieces of boats everywhere already, and we're only like 4 times around in that. Nice smash on the boat. The taxi cab?
Yeah, Caleb Robinson, the 191, able to hang on to his for now, at least. He's got a pretty big target on the back of his right there. The 28 of Thomas Greenberger. He's lining up a shot right there, and he's going to get tapped from Ted Hunt in the behind and get a little bit of a boost going through the intersection.
Nice. So these are a bunch of the cars that we saw, like V8 bump to pass, I'm guessing? All right, they're hauling the boats around. I mean, some of them look like street stocks coming in and through. The 28 looks street stock adjacent at least.
Street stock adjacent, I like that.
Yeah, that guy went spinning all the way out there with no boat. That was fun.
So there's Skylar Cruz still hanging on to what's left of that boat at least.
It's boat remnants.
Yeah, it might still float a little bit.
Well,
maybe not much weight in it, but it would float by itself.
I don't think you'd put much more than a cat inside that thing. Oh, whoever that orange Camaro-looking thing was just got super aggressive and had to check up. That's sad.
So
and now they're running each other over on top of the boats. Even better.
Oh,
synchronized swimming.
Right in the intersection, too. That's going to pile up some cars here in a second. I can't quite see who that is. That boat's going to get destroyed.
What?
Caleb Robinson taking it along with it. There goes the 8 coming through. Sheridan Vincent somehow hanging on to that boat right there in the 63. Or Tyler Grubb actually hanging on to that boat in the 63 in the Sheridan Vincent owned car.
Just smash it for fun.
Yeah.
Oh, and he lost his own boat in the process.
Caleb Robinson still has that giant boat.
How did that work out? That guy just went.
Ted going right up and over.
What was that? What's the one?
Dukes Hazzard?
Yeah, thank you. He went Dukes Hazzard over that boat. Thank you.
The 50 mystery driver of Tim. Still has a boat. Wow, that was impressive. That was like a magic trick right there. Like, now you see me, now you don't.
It's Tim the Magician.
That's Caleb Robinson getting hung up on the 63 of Tyler Grubb. I don't know how that boat is still on. He was in that big mess right there, and Caleb's on top of his boat right now trying to rip it off.
You know, the sheer amount of boat still left by Caleb Robinson is impressive.
Both of these two.
That thing's clean-ish. Well, clean as far as boat racing goes.
Yeah.
Watch him swing way wide around the turn. All right, he's trying to. He's lining up Tyler Grubb. He wants that boat at the back of him. Grubb's got to come around. Now we've got the obstacle course.
Sending that U tire. It's almost like curling with those U tires in the wet weather.
That's a beautiful analogy, and I love curling. There's not a lot of room to get through coming off the North Pole.
Can we get some car curling in our next thrill show event? Oh, that's a big hit right there. That was an awesome jump right there. I think that's the 7-11 of Devin Bellis, I want to say. I can't quite see the number on it, but he jumped that boat right in front of the crowd.
Bye-bye, Bodie.
And we got another big boat just above the flag stand. Look right where John Peterson's at. That's a big boat right there. Here comes Caleb Robinson in on it.
I think that was his own boat.
I think it is. Yeah, I think it is, actually, yeah.
Like he lost it, and they decided, all right, well, if I'm going to lose it, I'm going to blow it up.
That boat is sitting in a very nice spot. I would keep an eye on that, see if someone lines that up.
Any points yet? I'm going to give Caleb Robinson 7 points.
For hitting his own boat?
Shot. Yeah, so it's Caleb Robinson 7, and nobody else with anything yet. USA boat, let's give it 17 points just for being USA.
Tim the Magician still has a boat. I think that's at least worth 10 points.
Okay, I'm good with that.
As we see the 50 right there, still rolling through. And the 63, how is that boat still on? Tyler Grubb. And he's going to pick up another boat. Why not?
I'm going to give you 192 points for that.
Great job right there.
And
he's got another boat underneath. So he had 3 boats at one point. He had 3 at one point.
That's worth 7 billion points. I think we've got our winner.
99, Kenny McDaniels. He's hung up on a boat also. We'll give 25 points for that. I think that puts him in second.
Well, we weren't really keeping track of how many points everybody got, but yeah, the guy with 3 boats has got to win. Right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. So Tyler Grubb, we'll throw the checkered flag for him right here and move on. We'll bring back up to the booth while we reset the course for a second. How exciting were the boat racing? I mean, come on. You never experienced that in person. You got a chance to experience it July 4th. If you like what you've seen on this show so far, come on out Monday, July 4th. Yep, the 4th of July, that big holiday. Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
We put on a great show here at Evergreen Speedway. A lot of what you've seen right here. But hey, we got more to recap tonight. The Sean Peters Truck Fest Memorial. And yeah, Truck Fest. We got to have trucks out here for the Truck Demolition Derby.
Got to be a truck demo. All right. So Lucas Humphreys, the 10, sponsored by his dad. Cole King, 16, LeMaster Auto Body. Same with Phil King, the 46, LeMaster Auto Body. 53, Ian Humphreys. 71, Brad Fisher, Courtesy Automotive and Tire. 88, Josh Levine. 157, Trevor Graham. 178, J.J. Randall. And the 5150, the Industrial Tire Service truck of Nick Arnold.
And before we get this underway, this segment is brought to you by Coastal Community Bank. At Coastal Community Bank, community is our middle name. Our bankers take time to understand your business and help it move forward. Now celebrating 25 years, Coastal Community Bank is an equal housing lender, member FDIC, as we get underway for the Truck Demolition Derby. And I wonder if these guys took out loans for these trucks.
If they did, Coastal would be a great place to go secure those loans, although I really hope that they didn't use the truck itself as collateral. That would be a bad investment.
Yeah, that would not go well. As we got kind of a mellow start so far, trying to get them lined up. And we normally wet the track for these guys anyway, so the wet weather's nothing new for the Demolition Derby, as they are so far going well. The 46 of Phil King working his way around, trying to get back into the gated community as he's trying to line something up.
USA truck. There you go. Rack 'em and smash 'em, buddy. Nice tag. Nice tag. I like it.
So the 71 of Brad Fisher in the USA truck, that actually won Best Appearing Truck as voted on by the fans in attendance. So he won Best Appearing Truck. I mean, obviously a USA truck with a keg on top. That's going to sit well with this crowd.
I think anything with a keg on top is probably going to get Best Appearing. Full of some Busch Light.
Busch Latte.
Busch Latte.
Proud sponsor here at Evergreen Speedway as well. You can get that down into the beer garden, which is a great place to watch these demolition derbies from.
The Turn 1 Club is enjoying this truck demo. All right, so 157, that's Trevor Graham. I can see that. He's got the little baby American flag off the top of his number.
Ooh, good hit there from Phil King in the all-blue truck.
Ian Humphreys is the white and black truck that he just ran into with the kind of Chevy bow tie style sign up on top of it.
178 at J.J. Randall in that yellow front-end truck. He's made a pretty decent hit there with the 5150 Nicholas Arnold.
Now, see, there's almost too many trucks for this little short of space, right? I think at the point where we start wiping some of them out, they'll be able to get a bigger, longer run like that.
Oh, yeah, there we go. Good
Ian
hit.
Humphreys, nice stick.
And he kind of got tagged by J.J. Randall as he made that hit. So it was kind of a double whammy on him as he got hit in the front and the back. And for those who've never seen a demolition derby before, a lot of the strategy usually is to throw that thing in reverse and use your rear end, because then you're hitting cars towards the front end where you're doing damage on that engine bay and trying to dismantle it in some way, shape, or form to where it cripbles that truck and they can't drive anymore. And with these trucks, they got that long bed that they're trying to use as their main weapon. But you also got to protect that drive line because all these are rear-wheel drive as well.
Yeah, it's interesting. You don't see as many suspension and like I can't drive it, I can't steer it failures as you do see in guys having the radiator taken out and the thing just overheats and seizes up at that point in time, or you can't get it to restart if it gets knocked dead or knock the electrical out. So yeah, it's you want to protect the front of the truck, and these guys are going completely counterintuitive on this one, as they're just using the front of the trucks to smash everything.
Yeah, Phil King, that all-blue truck, is probably laid on some of the most heavy hits so far, but he's been using his front end. You can see him at the very top of the screen right there smoking a little bit, not that big puff of smoke, which I can't quite tell who that's coming from, but I mean, Phil, he's doing some heavy hits, but I think he's using that front end just to plow through everyone.
Man, he's looking like the Juan Pablo Montoya of truck demo derby, right?
There's jet dryers out there?
If there was a jet dryer, he'd be smoking that thing right now. Whack! Bam! More vicious than Johnny Depp's defense counsel. Fantastic.
Doing a great job up there is Phil King, just absolutely taking everything he can in his path, and he's going to come back for some more.
Get him,
Another
Phil.
huge hit. Wow, that 46 truck is going all over the place.
I like it. Way to go, Phil. Show them, boys.
J.J. Randall, that yellow front end truck again. He's getting some pretty good hits in there as well. 71, Brad Fisher. He's trying to line someone up there in the USA truck and gets a pretty good hit there with the 16 of Cole King. So they kind of get locked up for a moment.
You know, that red truck, it almost looks like a Russian flag. I think we just saw the Cold War.
That's more action than most of Cold War. And huge hit right there from the 178 of J.J. Randall. You could hear that right rear tire pop, just like a NASCAR race. Goodyear coming into play here in the Truck Demolition Derby as well.
All right, so I think this one truck right here, it's dead. It's not moved anymore. The one that the blue truck just went by.
I think it's 88.
Okay.
Josh Levine, I want to say. It looks like 88 on top.
I think Levine's Dunsky, so we know that. King has been laying the licking on a lot of guys here, but he's kind of limping at this point in time. Or at least not full speed. 5150 of Nick Arnold still moving.
The 157 down here, he's the one who just took that big hit a few seconds ago. I think he might be done after that. I don't see his stick up anymore at the driver's side window. He might have called himself done after that one.
Yep, we see the 178 of Randall and the 53 of Humphreys. And
someone lost a tire right above the 77 or 88, 178 of J.J. Randall.
Yeah, he lost a lot of tire.
Yeah.
Holy cow. Thump. Nice
hit there from
strike.
Brad Fisher.
All right, so the action's slowing down a little bit. They got to get him out from around this corner, right?
Yeah, so for those of you who also don't know the rules of Demolition Derby, it's normally each truck has a timer between each hit, so you have to make a competitive hit between a certain amount of time to reset your clock, and whether or not you'll get put on black flag.
Yeah, you just can't sit there and lay in the weeds, right?
Yep.
So
it looks like the 10 car up top as well. Lucas Humphreys looks like he may be out.
10 truck. Cost yourself
10 truck, yep. Put in the jar. The 16 truck as well. Looks like Cole King, he might be done as well. 5150, I don't see him moving or a stick up anymore. Nicholas Arnold, he might be done also.
So I think we're down to these three.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
All right, well, they're trying. They're efforting. They're efforting real good. All right, so there's King in the 46. He's bouncing and limping and
trying to line up a shot here.
Who's he after is the question. So the 178 truck is now.
It looks like his steerings are done. Yeah,
backwards, right?
It looks like he can't steer. It looks like that left front is just all crunched up and he can't steer anywhere.
Oh, they got the flamethrower on the USA truck. And smack!
Nice hit there.
Beautiful.
So the latest hit from Phil King. So I think that would put him tentatively as your leader because he's the last one to make a competitive
and
hit.
You can't just run and bump into disabled trucks. That doesn't count. It's got to be somebody who's still kind of moving.
Exactly, yeah. So I just think the 178 over there, J.J. Randall, just doesn't have any steering and is trying to get the truck oriented in a way to make a hit, but can't quite get over there. And I'm not sure if 71 or Brad Fisher. His car's fired up right now, as you can see. I just think he can't get it in gear.
Yeah, smoke show is going on. So
looks like they're locked up momentarily right now.
King's got credit for the final hit here, so that would unofficially make him your winner if nobody else responds within due time.
Yeah, so keep an eye on John Peterson over here to our right. He's the flagger down on track, black pants, white shirt. And when we see the checkered flag come out, that's when we'll know. Here comes King around for one more little bump. Yep.
I think that's the finisher right there.
Could have possibly knocked him into gear, though. We'll see if that has anything. Nope, checkered flag is out right there from John Peterson.
All right.
So Phil King is your winner for the Sean Peters Truck Fest Memorial Derby. I believe 71 of Brad Fisher will be second, and the 178 of J.J. Randall, I believe, was third. So, I mean, that was a pretty exciting truck demolition derby.
Good.
Yeah, I mean, if you love, like I said, if you love what you saw, the Carnage Fest, July 4th, you're going to want to come out here. And not only will I have all this, Mr. Dizzy making his return to Evergreen Speedway again this year.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, but we'll love when he comes to town.
That's going to be a great day to throw on all the American flag stuff, show that you love USA the most, spend some quality time in the Turn 1 Club, and just enjoy a day of weird, which would we have kind of the back half of today's show. It was great.
Yep.
Now we're going to get a little more serious coming up here. Our next show here on Home Track Heroes, the CW11, is going to be DriftCon on the 5/8s, in fact.
Yeah. We saw plenty of that with all the wet weather this week. So
yes, we
did. Got our taste of drifting, but we'll see the actual drifters come out here. And if you haven't seen that show before or the drifting show before, you're going to want to tune in because it is phenomenal. It's always a great time. And we get quite the wide variety of characters. I mean, Ben White, obviously.
Yep.
So it's always going to be a ton of fun. But next time you want to come out here in person at Evergreen Speedway, June 11th, the pro late models make their return to 3/8. Praying that we can get one of the races in because they've only had one main event so far, and so we're hoping to get them back
82 competitive laps at Evergreen Speedway this year, and those drivers are just fiending to get back on the track and get a full race day in finally. And, full race day, get their hot laps, get a time trial, and get the full main event in. They've had segments of it coming up here since the opening day of the year. They're wanting to get back at her, so that's going to be a good time. And I've consulted with the weather gods that they're telling me we're going to be okay.
Exactly,
We're going to be okay. So.
And then June 18th, the Granite Super Sprint cars, they make their return to Evergreen Speedway. Again, hoping for good weather for them because they've been on the short stick a couple times as well this year. So hoping that they can get their race in. And then June 25th, the Galloway 100 Pro Late models on the big track.
That's right. Busting out the 5/8s for the first time here on the season. The Galloway, it's kind of the prelude to the big show coming up at the end of July, which is the Summer Showdown. We're all looking forward to it. Everybody circles their calendar for that all year. So that's all the fun stuff coming up at Evergreen Speedway. It's going to be a good time. We hope if you can't make it out to the racetrack, though, you'll join us here on Home Track Heroes.
Exactly, yeah. But buy your tickets early for here at Evergreen Speedway. You're going to want to come out and enjoy. It's a ton of fun. Pack those grandstands and really support your local racetracks because after the year we've had so far, everyone needs it. So it's been an eventful year, eventful show. I'm Kyler Hope. That was Caleb Hart. Thank you so much for tuning in. We will see you guys next time right here on CW11.
Thanks for watching Evergreen Speedway's Home Track Heroes on CW11. Join us next week for more great racing from Evergreen Speedway.